Welcome to the Film Feast.
Sit down.
Welcome back to the Film Feast.
Are you doing the intro, Brent?
Welcome back to the Film Feast.
The professor is
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the Film Feast.
We got to start at some point.
I was trying to start it.
Yes, but what you're doing, apparently you keep just saying, welcome to the Film Feast, and then nothing else.
Apparently, I was waiting for other people to join in. I felt like my intro was good enough.
I'm going to do a full intro here. Hello, ladies.
Welcome to the Film Feast.
Hello, beasts, bats, and unicorns of the apocalypse.
That is-
Welcome to the
that's
Film
the wrong-
Feast. I used that for the film. I was using that for Film Feast stuff as well.
fine.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wait, you were?
Everybody settle, please.
Welcome to the Film Feast, everyone. Today I am.
gosh.
Why did you stop?
Welcome to the Film Feast, everyone. Today, I am joined by Brent Lawrence, our special guest, Josiah Lorence, Mr. Tazi Starfire, and I'm Justin Lawrence.
Hey, Josiah.
Lawrence
Welcome to
is on
Film Feast.
Lawrence is on the couch.
But he smells, so we put him over there.
Exactly.
He does. That's why we transitioned from the table. Like, we had it on virtual, but then we went in person, but then Tazi smelled so bad. We went, Tazi, you stay over there. And Justin smells a little bad, so that's why we put him next to Tazi.
Today, we're going to be discussing Marvel, specifically Marvel's Phase 4, 5, and 6, and how I would direct them if I were the producers. If I were the Kevin
subject has
Feige
not
role.
been beaten to death.
Yeah, if you were, you would direct them if you were the producers.
Yeah, and here's what I want to clarify for everyone. If you liked aspects of Phase 4, that's totally fine.
You're wrong if you liked aspects of Phase
Exactly. You're scum. I can't
Look,
believe you would have liked it.
He's a guest,
I
so
have-
we can't tell him not to say that.
I have my own educated opinion, and I feel like it's against most people when I say that I think Phase 4 just isn't good. I feel like no one really has that.
Why'd you get really
nowadays.
sassy there for a second?
Just not good.
Is it good?
It's just not good.
God.
I think everyone is lame.
Wait, where does Phase 4 start?
Comedy
WandaVision?
started with
Right after No Way
WandaVision.
Home. Yep.
Yes. Right?
I thought it started after No Way Home.
Phase
asking.
4 began with WandaVision.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Phase 3
How do you know?
ended with Far From Home.
Not No Way.
No-
No Way Home
No
is
Way.
the most recent one. Far From Home is the one where they go to Europe.
Yeah.
Far From Home came out right after.
Far From Home.
Yeah, because
So that's the last
Iron
Phase
Man
3
is-
movie.
Spoiler: Iron Man is dead, and
That's actually
I
about
think
to
the
play
actual
this.
issue is the fact that their names are so similar that
Far
you can't.
No, yeah.
I don't know which
Well,
one
all
you
of
guys
them,
are
they're
talking about.
Homecoming, Far From Home, and
So
No Way
Spider-Man 2 is the last Phase 3 movie. Spider-Man 3 is a part of
And
Phase
then
4.
WandaVision kicked off Phase 4.
Yeah.
So
That was good. I like that
with
show.
all of Phase 4 getting kicked off had a lot of like corporate requirements within it to start TV shows, to get people signing up for Disney Plus. There's very clearly like an idea of trying to introduce a bunch of different characters, but the one thing that I personally didn't like about what we've seen so far is sort of a connecting thread through everything. And this in the way that in the first group of movies we had
First 10 years.
the first 10 years we had Thanos and the Infinity Stones. And that's not saying there weren't movies that weren't completely unconnected, but there was a through line of the Infinity Stones sort of connected everything, and ultimately that's what brought all the characters together. And there is an idea within Phase 4 of the multiverse, but they've already broken all of the rules they set up in Loki, and
with Quantum
they're all
Well,
just sort of
just with
doing
all
their
of
own
it.
thing. Brent, you have thoughts?
Okay, I have multiple thoughts now that you said that last thing. First of all, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. I mean, the Tesseract is in the
through line
Avengers
for those
and
was-
Captain America.
wasn't Thanos, it was the
Avengers to the first one.
And they're trying to do that again, but it's not working.
So they had to
with
still
the
to
new
set
Avengers.
up. I mean, they had to set up new characters because
yeah,
they got
but those
rid of
new characters are uninteresting.
So actually,
That's a completely different subject.
I don't think so. I think it's completely irrelevant.
The other thing was, what do you mean
Why
they've
people
broken
aren't-
all the rules that they set up in Loki?
It's because in Loki they established very clear rules of he that remains is in control of the timeline, and in terms of the timeline is the multiverse.
Yeah.
He's keeping the multiverse under wraps so that all of the
I'm gonna
other
put a
kegs
sound
don't get
blanket
out.
over her door.
For some reason, but it's sort of stipulated that he has the power to control the multiverse, and it's when he dies that it opens up. But in Multiverse of Madness, America Chavez has the power to go to different multiverses already. She was born before, how on
And
earth
she
did
was a
that happen?
completely uninteresting
How
character.
did No Way Home? How did Doctor Strange all of a sudden have knowledge of the multiverse? Now he can open up the multiverse when before it was only about
he's a Sorcerer
interdimensional travel in the plane of Earth that they're on. That the Earth that currently exists has multiple dimensions, which they've established is different than the different universes. And then there's the issue with the Watchers and what if, what is... They're introducing so many different concepts of the multiverse. I don't know what the multiverse is or how it works within the Marvel universe.
No, because all those things happened. All those things happened
Loki.
after Loki when he died, and so the multiverse became common knowledge.
Yeah,
became a thing.
So Doctor Strange couldn't know anything about the multiverse
Because
until He Who Remains is killed by Sylvie.
Because probably the thing that Doctor Strange knowing about the multiverse is probably like a prunable, Nexus event kind of thing.
Where it would vary.
It'd be a variant that knows about the multiverse.
So normally the TVA would just kill him, but instead,
or America Chavez would have been a variant.
Yeah. But instead, Doctor Strange can take the choices that lead him on the path to learning about the multiverse and being able to do whatever he does in No Way Home.
You're doing very well.
We don't need to argue about this.
He never mentions the multiverse before that.
But that means that he is now a different. So the Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home is a different Doctor Strange than in the rest of the.
No,
it's not.
He just now he has made the decisions.
But he's the
main timeline one. He was the one who didn't have multiversal knowledge.
What I'm claiming is that if He Who Remains survived and the sacred timeline was still the only timeline, if He Who Remains kept the sacred timeline, then the Doctor Strange that we know would never know about the multiverse. But because He Who Remains dies, Doctor Strange then has the ability to then take the choices that lead him on the path.
So he's a different Doctor Strange.
He's not a different Doctor.
It's the same Doctor Strange. We're just following a branch.
The new Doctor Strange.
Just following a different branch.
But the Doctor Strange in this new phase of Marvel has knowledge of the multiverse already.
Not before Loki. Like he doesn't
never
have
mentioned it before Loki.
I'm so confused. He comes into No Way Home being like, I know what the multiverse is.
Because there's time between Loki.
So that's my question. He's a different person.
No, he's not.
He's a developed person.
The one from the
We'll settle at that.
I don't know what that means. The original phases had no knowledge of the multiverse.
Just because he learns stuff about the multiverse doesn't make him a different person.
He doesn't learn anything about the multiverse. He knows exactly what the multiverse is.
But when
he's talking to America Chavez, he's like,
he's saying that he didn't actively go gain that knowledge from anything. He didn't go read a book or something like that.
We have no reason to think either way. So I think give the benefit of the doubt to the writers.
Let's dive into. I address this, so we'll dive into.
Well, can I say my main gripe
say your main gripe.
The new phase?
Yeah, say your main gripe.
Josiah, you are a guest, and you will respect the hosts.
Are you not going to let him talk?
I had nothing to say.
My main gripe with everything so far is everything is just a big action comedy. Everything just seems to be so... We're trying to blow everything up. It feels like a Transformers movie where we're trying to spend all this money on all these different... it just feels like it's all... like big action, and then we're trying to throw comedy in there in every direction because Ragnarok and that change from normal Thor to comedy Thor works so well for whatever reason. I just feel like everything is supposed to be funny now, everything's supposed to explode, and it's just boring to me. It's just boring me now. Nothing seems serious anymore. Like, I hope they do Fantastic Four and it's like a serious plot and nobody's trying to make a joke or anything like that. You know what I mean? I feel like even with Blade, like, it shouldn't be a comedy, but I feel like they're just trying to make everybody in their seats laugh and excited by the explosions.
But let's think about. So I think. Did you see Eternals?
Yeah.
So
Sadly.
the movie sucked.
With the mild sex scene.
But
that was weird. That was so odd.
weird.
The movie sucked, but it tried at least.
That movie
to be
is PG-13.
It tried to be serious.
They didn't show anything.
They did show something.
Sex.
It's simulated sex.
Yes.
Well, we can
That's
talk.
not something a 13-year-old would watch.
We can get into the
parental
rating
guidance.
system. We can get into the rating system.
The rating
later.
system is so
This episode
screwed.
is now about the MPAA.
MPAA.
George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
You know, real quick, this is a fun little film feast
Actually,
fact
to be
that I
honest,
learned.
if George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, or if George Lucas wasn't there, that movie probably would have been rated PG.
Let's go on a tangent real quick. This is just going to take a second.
Film Feast classic.
A New Hope. A New
Tangents
Hope.
and rabbit holes.
A New Hope.
Same
in its
thing.
first cut was rated G.
Yeah.
So
Which one?
No, the first
A New
one
Hope
was rated
A New
R.
Hope.
No, A
it
New
was
Hope.
G.
Episode 4 was rated G, so they added in the skeletons of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru to make it PG. Anyway, what I was saying about
that is
Eternals, even though the movie
that
was
is a rarity for this podcast.
Even though
Back to the main point.
even though the movie was terrible, they're still at least trying to get to that serious, not just
was
forcing comedy on
Much
you.
more serious than I feel like the other. Like they had it since it was a group movie. They were able to have jokey characters, but half of the characters were.
No,
more
I
serious.
felt like they
Like
were
the
trying
Indian
to
guy,
make
I can't think of his name.
comedic still.
Was jokey, and
But like Icarus and
Maybe
what's her name, the main
Gibraltar?
character.
but
Yeah.
like Icarus, Gibraltar,
Not Gibraltar, Gilgamesh.
Angelina Jolie,
Gilgamesh.
I feel like Gilgamesh was.
But they
slightly
all
jokey. The
had
Scottish,
jokes.
Irish
Like
guy.
throughout the film, they were all still.
You can still crack a joke.
I don't want jokes.
every
I want to
once in a
cry.
while.
You're not, I know you want to cry.
I
but
want the emotions of Iron Man. I want to be attached to this character so much so that when he dies, I feel something.
But even
you won't get that again now.
But even in the first Iron Man, like there was jokes.
Yes, but that's his
hold on,
character.
hold on, Tazi.
That is his
So
character.
that's what
Time out,
Brent's
Tazi.
arguing. He's
Time
saying
out.
that that the characters he just pointed out, like Gilgamesh, is not a comedic character,
I
but
thought
he
his
has
death
funny.
was sad.
But he has funny
I
moments
didn't
because
cry.
of the way he interacts with the other
Because you
characters.
didn't get to know him long enough, but I still thought
Because he's in one movie.
no.
But that's a
here's
separate
the
issue
thing.
from the comic.
Here's the thing.
No, that's an issue with Marvel in general, is what I'm saying. Is every single movie, they're trying to attach this emotional connection to these characters and killing them off, like Gilgamesh, and then he dies, right? But you're not really, like, connected to him in any way. Like, I wasn't.
Okay. Well, that's just a difference of opinion.
I guess.
I do agree that they are a little more jokey nowadays. But
Yeah.
first of all, Iron Man was very
Thor,
sarcastic.
what was the last Thor?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
It was okay.
Holy
I thought it was
crap.
okay.
That was garbage.
Yeah.
That was absolute dog water.
I'm gonna be honest. It felt
And I know
like,
film is subjective.
Which is-
I'm sorry. Film is subjective, I get it, but it's dog water. Period.
I feel like Brent has some things to say.
Wait.
He always has something to say. Go ahead.
I've been trying to say something for multiple things,
And now you're
Like,
not
I'm like-
saying it, but you're just arguing.
Let him speak. Shut up.
I'm fine. I keep on being like, okay, it's fine. We can move on, and I keep on having a new thought, and you keep on being like,
And one more thing.
one more thing. I can't even. Oh, Iron Man, very sarcastic, but we still loved him because he grew. The Guardians of the Galaxy have been nothing but like. There might be some serious things
that's
in those, but they've been
completely fine.
completely comedic.
Yeah.
And this next movie is probably going to devastate everyone because of how sad it's going to be.
Would you like me to explain the difference there?
Why? Okay.
Iron Man is supposed to be, that's his character.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is his character. That's what makes him lovable.
So I agree with that, but I don't think that proves a normative principle that can be applied to all MCU movies. No, let me finish what I'm saying.
This is the best podcast ever.
Because Captain America is not a funny or sarcastic character by nature, but the first Avenger, he cracks jokes all the time.
I understood that reference.
I think the thing
Or
that
do you
Tazi
two
the thing that
fondue?
Tazi is saying is that
cheese with bread.
people had their own comedy, like Captain America in that, or I'm trying to think
was
of,
his own
like
style
Thor
of
being
comedy.
like Thor and Captain America were very like fish out of water kind of comedy. Tony Stark was very sarcastic. But I see what Tazi is saying is that a lot of the movies nowadays are doing the Guardians of the Galaxy,
thing.
Thor: Love and Thunder
It's
kind of
the
comedy.
Waititi. That's what I said. I was just saying his.
You keep on saying Waititi.
Play it back. I didn't say that. Waititi.
Oh my god! They're doing the James Gunn Taika comedy.
Yeah, every single one of them because it did so well in.
I guess that's
well,
true.
Ragnarok. Ragnarok had like the same.
But the difference
real quick,
between
because we're gonna argue. We can argue about this.
I just want to make this point. All right.
Tazi's gonna make a point.
The
And I'm gonna wrap up
difference-
this part of the
difference
conversation.
between Iron Man and he's the same caliber of Guardians of the Galaxy and they all stayed the same. They didn't change in their personality or their character throughout the different films, whereas everybody else feels like they're changing, like they're not true to who they should be.
Who's changed? Because they've only really introduced new characters.
They've changed Thor. From
Thor
Thor the
did
beginning of
change
Thor
slightly,
was
yes.
completely different than Ragnarok.
correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
no,
I feel
but
like
because everyone said that the first two Thors sucked.
I love them.
Wow.
Okay, but the majority of people.
Yeah, I don't care what they
that
do.
was why.
Okay, but Disney does because they sell more movies to the majority than to just you.
So
I would buy it. I would have purchased
Both of
that
you, real quick,
standalone film
'cause
if it was not.
here's what we're gonna do before we dive into my pitch for Phase
Yeah,
4,
go
5,
ahead.
6. So I just want you in 10 words, and correct me if I'm wrong. Your opinion of the current phase of Marvel is that it is
Too campy.
it is too campy, and it's changing legacy characters too much. Okay.
Are you counting how many words, Josiah?
That was 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
My opinion of it is I've liked a lot of it, but I think it's too. I've liked aspects of it, but I think it's too disjointed, overcrowded, and confusing.
Maybe I just want to be depressed when I watch Marvel films.
So Josiah, what is your current assessment of Phase 4 or 5, and then hopefully 6?
So I would agree with you that it's incredibly disjointed. And spoiler alert, Quantumania had an opportunity to make it a bit more jointed, one might say.
Yeah.
But then they killed Kang, and we're like, psych, we're not going to use this really cool variant of Kang. Instead, we're going to make you look at him as like a pharaoh in the next movie or something.
I burst out laughing.
Yeah. So I think that they kind of dropped the ball on
Do you
that
want me to
one.
count how many words you just used?
No, Justin said it. Justin did.
I said 10 words.
He said 10 words
was for everyone.
Oh, wait, and then one more thing.
Okay.
The movie, the TV shows and movies that have stayed true to the overall theme of these next 3 phases, mainly the multiverse, and have done it well, like WandaVision and Loki. I think they're really good, but most of it is kind of crap.
All right. Brent?
I think I really like Tazi. I know Tazi's gonna hate what I'm about to say. I love most of the characters in the movies. Mm-hmm. I hate the stories in most of the TV shows and movies. I felt like, especially Miss Marvel, I loved all the characters in that. I felt like the story was the stupidest story of any of the shows.
I think all of them are stupid.
Like,
and
I
all
felt
the
like if
characters
they
are
had just
stupid.
done like a family sitcom with Miss Marvel, that would have been way better. Or like a Ned's Declassified, like a school TV show.
Yeah.
Like that 70s show with
I didn't
just
Someone's
Miss
going to
Marvel
like
characters.
my
That would've
pitch
been
for
so
Miss
much better.
Marvel.
Because
Okay, so
and Tazi already did it.
That's
like, to be honest, like the weird thing with like the past people or whatever they were.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, and then they died in the second to last episode, and you're like,
I didn't even finish
what
that
was
show,
the
to be
point
honest.
of? I loved Miss Marvel. I loved her, the white friend at the school. Her family was fantastic. I loved her family.
Bruno.
Her friends, her school friends were great, but the plot was just dumb.
Yeah.
The plot made no sense, and it didn't relate.
I didn't watch it because I know it was going to be stupid.
All right,
That's
so-
where I'm coming to now with everything that's coming out. Is
Now-
I'm not even watching.
Wait, how much have you actually watched?
I've watched the majority of it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't even care anymore.
Good.
So now
Good.
these are the
That's
rules.
what we want,
So
Jimmy.
now you all know where we stand.
Sorry, I was gonna say Moon Knight is one of those shows that's a very. I feel like that's. I mean, they have some jokes in it, but it is a very serious show.
Oh yeah,
I like Moonlight.
Oscar movie was
I like
fantastic.
Moonlight. I
won
think
Best Picture
I
for La La
didn't finish
Land.
that. Yeah. La La Land
what?
sucked.
You said Moonlight.
So these are the sort of rules that I've imposed on myself. I'm assuming that I, as the Kevin Feige in this situation,
us of any of these rules.
No, I haven't.
And
So I'm informing them all
listening.
now.
We're just listening to Justin talk.
These
from
are.
now on.
Sorry, continue.
Brent actually hates it here. We're forcing him to be on this show. He's tied to
I wanted to call it the film snacks.
Notice how you can't see his.
I want to do this as a fun thought experiment to see what you guys think.
Notice how you can't see his left foot is actually nailed into the ground right now. Switched. We switched the nail. We cut there and switched the nail.
So this is assuming that I have to make a bunch of Disney Plus shows. In all honesty, if I were actually in control, I wouldn't make Disney. I wouldn't make any TV shows for the Marvel. I'd keep it to movies. Specifically because it takes away from the experience when you have some of it on TV and some of it in the movie theater. Yeah. But specifically because certain audience members. What used to be a cultural phenomenon of, hey, there's 2 movies that Marvel releases every year. Everyone goes and sees those movies.
Yeah.
Now we've had a year with 5 projects in it where some people have watched the TV stuff. Not everyone has. Most people aren't really caught up.
Some people haven't finished it
some people,
because of garbage.
Some people are confused. So here's what I think. If I'm doing the movies... or doing the movies and TV shows, I'm going to make sure that the movies are going to contribute to the overall arc of the phase. And the TV shows, while they'll introduce elements and characters, they will not be necessary viewing to understand what's going on in the feature film. So by the time you get to Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, you're not like, wait, what's going on? Because they never watched Loki. So... we're gonna start there.
They still would have TV shows.
So in this situation, in mine,
can I explain? Yeah. The TV shows wouldn't be directly connected to the features on a overall through line. It would be connected in
world.
Maybe introducing characters or
whatever.
Yeah,
I'll explain.
But those characters aren't like huge characters to the plot of the overall through line.
Exactly.
Like so nothing hurts.
Major plot elements like in Infinity Stone. If we were doing TV shows in the original phases, I would never introduce an Infinity Stone in a TV show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Infinity Stones would be introduced
in the
feature films, and then you still have a movie like this. Thor 3 could have been a TV show where it's just a romp through the galaxy with Thor, and then where it ends up is still going to contribute to the larger narrative because Thor as a character ends up being a major role, but the audience can still figure out what went down, basically. Anyway, it's gonna make more sense as I walk through the phase and how I'm splitting things up. But that's the main guiding principle, is that Disney has instructed Kevin Feige and me to make TV shows for Disney Plus. We are now going to enter into the multiverse where Kevin Feige has been fired.
Multiverse. I see what you did there.
Yeah, see?
I didn't do it and then say I see what you did there.
Marvel then hired 22-year-old Justin to head up Phase 4.
Wait, you're 22?
No! When Phase 4 started.
In 2019.
Oh.
Yes.
4 years ago, I was 22.
No, 2020. That's when it started.
Wait, I got a question about the multiverse.
That was no.
I thought it started
2020.
2021.
No, because it started during COVID.
Was when the first.
No, that's when COVID.
It was January 2021.
Yes, but it was supposed to come out in
you're
2020.
Right.
So in 2019, when they were planning it, this is where we're at. Do you guys get the map now?
Yeah, I have a question about the multiverse.
Gosh. I'm going to put a hat on because I'm Kevin Feige. Some things stay the same. I wear hats now.
Okay, sorry. What was your question, Tazi?
You wear hats normally.
Tazi, stop. Your question.
The question is, in the timeline, right? You have 2 timelines, right?
Okay.
Justin is 22 in this timeline.
Yes.
Apparently.
And then in this timeline, this date. Why do the times not overlap that way? And now you're actually the same age in 2019, but you were born earlier.
What?
Oh, so why can't he be 26 in 2019? Why does he have to be 22?
Why does he have to be 22?
Because
this is this timeline.
But that's
this timeline.
My parents.
You're talking about a theoretical timeline,
but it is
in which you were born the same age as the other timeline.
So just to clarify quickly, this is one of the problems that I have with the current Marvel
I think that's
universe
usually
that I
how
hope
it
to address.
goes.
It's really confusing. So we're gonna try and keep things as simple as possible. The
How is it confusing? I feel like what you said is really easy
because there's too many unanswered questions, Brent.
Tazi is just overcomplicating things.
Phase 4. This is the big important part of Phase 4. We need to take it back down to Earth. All right. So Endgame, big cosmic, huge cosmic event. Huge cosmic event. It was a giant thing. We're going to be taking it back down to the ground level. Like Iron Man, he's dealing with just the regular world. The
Iron
world
Man is
that
dead.
we're in is
He
small.
died.
Captain America small.
Iron Man is
using
dead.
This is a different timeline.
No, I see what he's saying. He's saying like the Iron Man or Captain America movie.
I'm saying we need to take the stakes.
You know, the small stakes of
We
Captain
need
America.
to hide aliens
No.
from the American public again.
Sorry. We need to
only
do
public that
small
matters.
stakes like Captain America, where there was a technological Nazis
Trying to bomb the world.
trying to bomb the entire world. Yes, small stakes. My bad.
I mean, that is smaller than Kang
Comparatively-
trying to conquer every timeline in the universe.
Comparatively to
I mean-
Endgame, it's very different. So that's where we're taking it down. We're lowering the stakes.
scales.
Okay.
Small scale.
The reason we're going to lower the stakes is
Hugo
now we
Weaving
can
is a lot smaller
introduce.
than Thanos.
Oh my gosh!
Stop interrupting.
I've been quiet.
We're lower. The stakes are gonna lower. I'm glad that we're using 4 mics because that means that I can now boost my audio.
Wait, are you editing this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to edit it? No. I always edit them. I assume that's what I was doing.
Well, perfect.
Except for the Loki episode. Guys, we recorded a Loki episode that we'll probably never see.
Wait, way after it came out.
To be fair, when Loki came out, we did record it. It was like maybe
2
a week-
years ago.
It was a week after Loki came out, and then we just never.
I'll tell you
released
this: we will release that when we feel like it, when it's the most inconvenient time.
Right
to
as
release
Loki
it.
Is this
season
like a
2
right
comes out.
as Phase 8 is starting, we will release.
Is this like a read my lips, no new taxes promise?
I don't
or-
do taxes.
No, that was a Georgia.
Taxes? No, I don't like to do those. They're not for me. You have to do them. Nah, I don't really want to do them.
It just goes to
That was a George
I guess it
H.W.
doesn't.
George H.W. Bush joke for all of you.
That's
George
why I was
H.W.
curious.
Stay on.
out there.
Oh, you're George. You know, we have all those Film Feast fans.
George H.W. Bush fans.
All of that is useless.
Good, because we didn't talk about anything. We are now going to enter the multiverse. Kevin Feige has been fired, and 26-year-old Justin, who was born in 1992, not 1996.
Why are we changing when you're born?
Because
Tazi
Tazi
cares.
wanted it.
Because
Tazi
the
really cares.
rules are confusing and you can make them up as you go.
You're making it confusing.
Good.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Fine. Whatever.
Anyway, Justin is now the producer at Marvel. But some things don't change.
I am too, but I just don't do anything there.
I wear
just
a
let
hat.
him do it all.
He wears a
Just
hat
like
now.
him. Anyway, so
They fly now.
Now.
As Finn would say.
Somehow,
Palpatine.
Palpatine flies. Sorry,
Called
continue.
it's called the fourth equity.
here's here are the rules.
Actually.
Here are the things that I'm keeping in mind as I played with this. And note, I have not fully fleshed this out. I wrote this afternoon.
We will all judge you if it's bad.
Yeah,
Of
so
course we will.
I'm expecting to get very much
Judging
judged.
him is good.
But I'm assuming that Disney has put a stipulation on me that I need to include TV shows, so I need to have Disney Plus shows.
So cringy.
But I can
What's that?
What?
I can change what is a TV show and what is not. I'm also assuming that all of the ideas that they have created here, that was everyone around Kevin Feige contributing to this. So I'm using most of the movies and phases that they've already laid out, but I'm just going to describe...
Because you're lazy and you don't want to come up with your own.
Basically, yeah.
He also has never read the comics.
I've read some of them.
So, but he doesn't know all of the characters or the storylines.
For all the Film Feast fans out here, I read Captain America I just read Civil War in a Barnes & Noble one time, so I think I'm pretty qualified.
Josiah's probably, to be honest, the most qualified out of all of us here.
Yeah.
And he's a guest, and he should respect the hosts.
Phase 4 is going to kick off, not with WandaVision as a TV show or any of these TV shows. We're going to be kicking
with
off
Squirrel Girl.
I'm gonna be honest. There's probably a superhero with that name either in DC or Marvel.
There absolutely is. That's why
the Marvel Squirrel Girl.
Is there actually
I'm
Marvel?
not completely useless.
Squirrel Girl is going to be the heart of this
Let's
universe.
be honest,
Here's what's great about Squirrel Girl.
I like how you got so annoyed.
She's a squirrel
She's a squirrel.
and she's a girl.
She's
He's
a
just
girl.
blocking us. Now we can't look at each other. Like maybe if I sit in between them, they won't be able to talk to each other.
I swear I'm going to get through this. There's so many movies and TV shows.
This is going to be a 4-hour podcast.
Let's put this into 4 parts.
This is like one of those podcasts where it's like 7 dudes just say, yo, our conversations are so interesting. And then they all sit down and they release the podcast and there's no structure. And it's like they talk about like how one time one of their pepperonis looked like Al Pacino or something. And that's like the whole podcast. That's what we're doing.
I'm trying to bring structure, but every time I start
We'll have
saying
structure
something,
when we rebrand.
every time I start saying part of the structured stuff, what if you guys cuts me off about something completely irrelevant and unrelated?
Because it reminds us of something better.
Well, I just said Marvel Phase 4.
Yeah, it's
You
garbage.
said they fly now.
We'll edit it in post.
Phase 4. Phase 4. Here we go.
Wait, hold on.
Oh my god.
If this is an entire universe,
Yeah.
completely different than the one we're in, why can't it be Phase 5?
Because what was it? Phase 4 then?
What if Endgame got its own phase? It was actually a 12-hour long movie.
Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Miss
Wait.
Marvel, and Endgame are all just one phase.
Theory to help him.
No! Let me tell you guys
We make Endgame actually
They're
5
all
years
brothers.
long.
We make it 5 years long.
So, Phase
It
4.
didn't come out till 5 years after.
We're gonna be doing
space of just no movies.
I
was
think you just
Phase
have to
4.
start talking.
We're going to be doing 2 things, 2 very important things with Phase 4. 1, lowering the stakes. All right,
Bringing in Will Smith.
So we are no longer
Shut
going
up,
to be
Tazi.
doing universe-shattering stakes that we've had with our last few movies, okay?
Wow.
The stakes are still going to be important to each of the individual characters, but the main thing is keep the stakes low. So I, as Kevin Feige, that's the main instruction I'm telling my writers.
Lawrence.
Is Justin Lawrence? That's
He
what I'm
is
telling
taking
the
over
Marvel
for
writers.
the fired Kevin Feige.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling my writers. Keep
You're
the stakes
fired.
low. All right, so nothing like the Eternals where it's an earth-destroying event
With no
that
Avengers.
None of the Avengers showed up for.
Because it didn't happen, so they didn't have to avenge the situation.
Well, to be fair, they don't.
To be fair,
nothing-
that movie was garbage.
it's the same-
this is
I
a
would
side-
adventure-
this is a
I would
tangent.
not want to be in
To
it.
clarify, it's an issue I also had with earlier Marvel movies like Thor 2, Thor
Yeah.
the Dark World had the same issue where it was another world-ending catastrophe
But it
and
wasn't
no one
on
else
Earth.
showed up.
Yeah, it was. The
So it
last
was.
battle takes place on Earth.
in London.
Oh, you're right. That was weird.
So
Actually, it's like all over because they have to jump.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the alignment, so they jump
But
around.
regardless,
the world.
there's opportunities for other people to show up and they don't. That's the point.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna be keeping
Thanks,
we're
Josiah.
gonna be keeping the stakes lower.
Be concise in our language, and let's do that.
We're treating this like the first act in a larger story. So in the first act, you're doing 2
Act
things.
one.
You're introducing the characters and you're introducing the world. Obviously, we have a lot of recurring characters that we had in earlier season or earlier phases that we're going to be following and seeing what happened to them after Endgame. But we're also going to be introducing a bunch of new characters. My goal is to use the TV shows as a way to introduce new characters. Now, some of the new characters are introduced in the movies, but those are the ones that are going to contribute more to the overall, through line through the entire universe and the entire multiverse saga. So, our first...
Wait, can I add another
Yeah.
rule before we start?
Yeah.
So,
Unless it contradicts the other rules.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, obviously.
Shirley, Abed, and Craig Pelton were in phases 1 through 3. So how can we get Joel McHale and Allison Brie and what's his Donald Glover?
Donald Glover's in Spider-Man.
Oh, you're right. So how can we get those two?
Donald
and
Glover
Chevy
is
Chase
going to be in Spider-Man.
Chevy Chase.
How can we get Chevy Chase and Joel McHale and Allison Brie?
Chevy Chase should have been MODOK.
That's what you have to know. You have to.
That was such a fake laugh, So can you imagine?
So please,
if you have not seen the new Ant-Man movie, MODOK, although to be fair, in the comics, he is a very weird-looking thing in the comics.
Imagine it was Chevy Chase.
But imagine if it was Chevy Chase instead of whoever Wasp is. I guess spoiler.
So please just make a side note every time one of those 3 actors would come up and tell me.
Because I need to know. Nicole Brown, and we had.
I need to know.
They're going to come in the Avengers movies because we're still going to have. We'll still be having the Feige. And we're actually. I think the Russos. This is the issue. The Russos don't really want to.
Gillian Jacobs.
And what's her face?
I already said Allison.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Please note, this is very important.
I'll note it.
To be fair, I think those were only in the Russo brother movies. They were only ever in the Russo brothers.
True,
because the Russo brothers had done Community.
So to clarify again, I'm the producer of these movies. I'm not the writer. I'm not the director. So I'm
the casting director.
Thank
goodness. I'm going to be giving.
Will Smith is still up in the air.
So everything I'm doing is
on the table.
I'm going to be giving these
don't say
movies.
His wife's name.
Here are the things I need you to introduce and establish. So there's certain rules the writers have to follow. But ultimately, they'll have freedom to tell their own stories within those guidelines. So it's much in the same way the other phases worked, where there were through lines, but everyone sort of had their own freedom.
Can I make a retcon?
To the other
There's
phases?
Two retcons.
To earlier phases.
Earlier phases. Earlier phases. So first retcon, it's not the snap, it's the slap. Thanos is played by Will Smith. That's the second retcon.
Okay. And to clarify, because this is important,
slap, and it wipes out half life.
Okay,
let's call
We've taken 10 minutes and I haven't even gotten to the first movie in the phase yet.
All right, let's
wait. In this universe, does time work the same way? Is 10 minutes actually 10 minutes?
Yes.
Or is it equal to an hour?
Tazi, I have a detail. We haven't actually transported to another timeline.
my God.
This podcast is still in this timeline, so it's still going to be.
So I am now going to talk about the first movie.
Got it.
Okay. The way I'm going to structure these, by the way, is I'm going to talk about the movie.
Could you just tell us?
Yes, oh my gosh. The first movie is going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The reason I'm doing this is I'm taking 2 characters that we already know and love. So they're comfortable people that we're already comfortable with and know something about.
Love them at one point.
Bringing them into this universe.
You don't love them anymore?
Bringing them into the universe.
Whatever.
Tazi doesn't like them. The general audience.
It's a different universe. I don't know these.
Oh my gosh, Tazi.
How am I going to love somebody I don't know?
Tazi, you don't
Here's
need
the
method
thing.
act.
I feel like if Tazi
Am I supposed to
interjects-
just love a stranger out of nowhere?
So,
Yes, I
Falcon
am.
and Winter Soldier is the first movie, all right? This is going to be the main underlying
case,
through line
yes.
here is establishing that the world is recovering from the blip. So after the snap, half the population of the planet disappeared. 5 years passed where they rebuilt society, and then all of a sudden, half of the population just snapped back in. That's a horrifying thing to think about.
Yeah.
Who are the people who snapped out of the sky? All of a sudden, one day, you just have bodies raining on you. That's horrifying. They explored this a little bit, where you snap back in, or you blip back in, and all of a sudden, you're in a house that was yours, but is no longer yours. Where do you go? What do you do? So this movie...
Back to the Red Room.
This movie is going to do something very important, which is it's keeping the thematic qualities of Captain America as a character, which Falcon still espouses, and putting them into this movie.
What did you just say?
Espouses?
What does that mean?
Believes,
He believes the same things that Chris Evans' Captain America believed. So Anthony Mackie's Captain America has the same core values.
Dare I say he has some normative principles to live by?
Exactly. And that's
I just want to make sure that the audience
and that's already been established within the earlier phases. So in many ways, this is going to be Anthony Mackie versus like the governments of the world
Thanos.
that are trying to deal with this.
Oh,
Anthony Mackie is sort of on the side of the people.
fighting the
The
government.
governments are on the side of what best helps our country. It's going to be a great political drama. We're gonna
Another
have fun.
civil war.
But the main thing,
Characters.
that is established is one, the Sokovia Accords are still in place. Okay, so the registration.
became a thing.
So the registration of superheroes,
they got
because the
repealed at one
registration of
point, don't they?
superheroes became less important after the snap, but now with the blip, it's becoming more important. It's become a priority for these governments. Okay, the world is in chaos because of the blip. All right, there's tons of people that are thrown out of their house. There are tons of people that are like, there's just chaos everywhere of what's going on, and we're going to see this in other things, but. These are the main two things. And then the other thing is the movie needs to end with the introduction of U.S. Agent after Falcon and Bucky basically go AWOL. The same way Captain America did during Civil War. They go AWOL as well.
But isn't that just a retread of the Captain America
No,
movies?
it's not. It's establishing something very...
It's a completely different universe, so there's no
Shut
knowledge
up.
that the
Yes,
other
there
one
is.
exists.
The first three phases happened the same way.
I would actually legitimately like to hear Justin's response to this, Tazi.
It's a retread in a sense, but it is establishing a very firm thing about Anthony Mackie's Falcon, which is what I was saying earlier. He espouses the same ideals as Captain America.
But didn't we already know that?
So he's coming in and working with the government at the beginning. I don't know what
Some of this stuff is going to be the same, Brent.
some of this stuff
everything's
is
going to be
some of this
changed.
stuff is going to be the same, but it's
No, but he's saying we have to establish it, but it was already established.
It wasn't, because here's the thing.
'Cause
Falcon wasn't really his own character. He
Yes.
wasn't a main character. He was a character. He existed, but like he's there to just kind of be a sidekick to Captain America.
Yeah.
Who's like less attached than Bucky.
Exactly.
He's less cool,
So
you could say
this
that.
movie,
I wouldn't say he's less
this
cool than
movie
Bucky.
for his character
I think he's cooler than
specifically,
Bucky, to be honest.
I think so too.
this movie for his character specifically is doing exactly what Josiah is saying. It's taking this character that was a side character. He's now being looked to by his own government as the new Captain America, the new face of the country who's going to lead us as a figurehead. And what does he believe in regards to the state of the world and how the governments are reacting to the blip?
Sometimes I wish I was just blipped away.
And so the ultimate reality is he's going to come to the same recognition of who I am as a person and what I espouse as Captain America. The original, like Chris Evans' Captain America established who this person is, and I'm going to maintain that. Bucky is going to be there to support that, because Bucky in and of himself is also like, I'm a murderer, terrible person. What am I doing? Who am I? I also
He
am
can have a
like
similar
wanting,
arc that he did in the show.
There's
Yeah.
similar arc, but it's almost like a buddy comedy where they're showing each other
Tazi won't like that.
who they want to be coming together
friends.
in this common moral pathway. So anyway,
Tazi doesn't like people having friends.
he doesn't think people
No, he
having
said
friends.
buddy comedy. He doesn't
If I
like.
can't have friends, nobody can.
The main thing to establish in this universe.
Acquaintances.
Okay, so U.S. Agent is established.
Okay, but
Yeah,
and-
Hold on, can you explain
and
U.S.
then-
Agent
wait,
for everybody who doesn't know what U.S. Agent is?
Hold on, I
Not
had a
me,
question.
But for
If-
those in Kansas who are watching.
Yeah.
Falcon was already with Captain America with Steve when they were like, okay, the government isn't good anymore. Why would he go back to working for the government after the? Why does the blip make it so he wants to go back to work for the government?
What?
Because he was Air Force, right?
He was Air Force.
Yeah, but then
Because
he was
he's
with.
coming. Because
he
okay,
was
here's
with
the thing.
Captain America
Do you
when they were
want-
like,
I'm-
okay, the government's
the
kind of
details
not
of the
being
plot
cool right now.
The details of the plot. Brent is
Kinda
now the
not being
writer.
cool right now.
Brent is
Yeah.
now the writer of Falcon Winter Soldier. Brent, you get to figure that
You
out.
have to figure it out, yeah.
Because that's the point. Is I'm just saying this is I'm setting these things up for a reason, and the arc of why he gets there. I can give you a few explanations. My main one off the top of my
main one
head
is
would
because
be
he said so.
the blip. No. The main thing is the blip comes back, and Anthony Mackie and Captain America Anthony Mackie recognizes that he can do good by serving under this governmental organization. But as time goes on, he realizes this is not the way I should be doing things.
But I think that's just a retread that people would be like,
I
why are you going back
disagree.
to the government? If he's like, I'm going to be with the government, all right, and I'm not, actually, the government's not good again. But he already learned that.
I disagree.
In Civil War.
Yes, but it's been 10 years.
You would be fired immediately.
It's been almost 10 years since Civil War. So I'm not giving you a perfect. I'm not going to give you a perfect plot and character arc for Captain America here. I'm telling you now that Captain America within this story is working with the government to help people.
Captain America as Falcon.
As Falcon. Well, he's going to be Captain
Sam
America.
Wilson
There's not going to be
Captain
this whole he's Falcon and he has to decide whether or not he wants to bear the historical weight of being.
We're also removing the U.S. agent becomes Captain America.
That is being
that
removed.
never happens.
It's going to happen at the end of the movie, where my hope is that the U.S. agent character is his liaison to the government.
Yeah.
He's the representation of the federal government throughout the thing, and it's not necessarily just the federal government. It's because this needs to be like a world hopping thing, so you can see multiple different aspects. Yeah, NATO. But he's a representative that is going to represent the governmental aspects of the world and how they're perceiving the blip. And then Anthony Mackie is perceiving the more heroic, how do we actually as humans respond to the blip? And so at the end, he is going to realize, I'm going to need to do this on his own. He and Bucky go off, they go AWOL, and they bring their liaison, U.S. agent, is the new Captain America, but they call him U.S. agent. Needs to set up sword.
Introduce you.
So it's going to set up sword. Sword. Those are the main things. The governmental powers, the governmental powers of the world are now their own entity as represented by U.S. agent, and we're going to establish more. It's going to be the Thunderbolts.
Can you explain U.S. agent for people?
U.S. agent is Dark Captain America. He's Captain America, but he's loyal to the government versus Captain America, who is loyal to his morals of what America should be.
Yeah, no, he's non-patriotic
to America.
Exactly. So if corruption in this situation,
he was a true patriot, one might say.
Well, it's the difference between patriotism and nationalism.
Exactly.
That's not for us.
But that's actually
to the values of America, not to America itself.
That's it. It's patriotism versus nationalism.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said. True patriot.
I misheard you. I'm sorry.
He's loyal to the values of America,
not to America,
but not to the government, not to America itself.
Exactly.
As the thing.
So again, just to clarify, Brent, so that we don't get into the weeds of the plot details of the story. Again, the how we connect the moment of Falcon going AWOL is up to the individual writer to delve into and make it good and realistic based on his character. But
well, I'm pulling out as writer for this movie because I think the way that you have the plot going is
the point is I need Captain America.
That's right. You can go make
to
a DC
separate
movie,
himself.
Swine.
I need Captain America to separate himself as a separate
creative
entity.
lead of
There's
DC
no
then.
multiverse over there.
Hey, first of all, yes, there is. Second of all, let's let the producer speak.
The Flash.
The Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Let's let the producer.
It hasn't released, sucker.
Yeah. Can we shut up?
Watch your mouth.
So that everyone,
you guys keep talking.
I
go to the
think I've
bathroom.
done this now 3 times, trying to sum up what the goal of this movie is on a universal level. We've established the new world is in chaos after the blip. We're establishing the federal government of the world as an oppressive regime, basically.
What was the name of the organization in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? We can just reuse them.
The Flag Smashers?
No. The governmental or intergovernmental organization.
I don't know. But there's an intergovernmental
name.
organization that is now set up as an antagonist going forward. Okay? And they are currently represented by U.S. agent, the nationalistic Dark Captain America. All right? And then the final thing is the post-credit scene will set up SWORD. So it means that all of these governmental agencies are basically finding a way to control people. They're doing it through creating their own superheroes, their own registered superheroes under the Sokovia Accords, and then through SWORD as a way to control superpowered people. All right? And then Captain America is off on his own, doing his own thing. That's movie 1.
Didn't Kit Harington already set up SWORD after Eternals? When he opened the box and there was a sword inside of...
What's Eternals?
This is a different universe.
Sorry, I just made a really good pun and you just completely ignored it.
Because he pulled out a sword.
Because there's a sword in the box.
I don't...
For everyone who has seen Eternals, you know what I'm talking about. Justin is...
No, I don't get it.
Oh.
I know the scene is, but what does that have to do with what I said?
Joke. He pulls out a sword.
So he sets up sword with a sword.
You're welcome.
And for those who don't know, sword...
Oh!
SWORD is the agency in WandaVision.
WandaVision.
It stands for superhero.
Something.
It's with that other old white guy.
Superheroes with
Mad white guy.
ordinary-
It doesn't matter what it stands for.
dollops.
It doesn't matter what it stands for. In the comic book universe, they're
Derriers.
basically the Space Defense Force. But in our Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're the Intergovernmental.
What does it mean?
Superhero Control Force.
What does what
Do you know what it means?
That's for the writer
Sword?
to decide.
Sword.
For the writer to decide.
And a sword
the writer
is a
of Falcon
pointy
and Winter
metal
Soldier
thing.
gets to decide what SWORD stands for now, because it doesn't stand for Space Force anymore.
Space Force is
Space
the
Force
newest
is
branch of the
Okay,
military.
So Brent, do you see
I forgot about
the?
that.
The sword in Marvel is Sentient Weapon Observation and Response Division.
There we go.
What do you know?
Yeah, you can't just make it up
So
because
the
you're the writer.
intergovernmental.
It's like changing aim to all.
We're 25 minutes into this second set of recording.
Firebenders.
Tony
Stark
Stark
to, like,
movie.
need a
Boney
source.
Bart.
Guys,
We're
you do
actually
realize I have like
About
30 more
40
movies
minutes.
and
All right,
TV
let's
shows to get through.
We have all day, okay?
We're waiting on you.
That's true. Okay, so that's the first movie. We've established the world. We've established the intergovernmental organization as evil, with U.S. agent as their head, and we've
Sword is
established
evil.
SWORD in the post-credit scene. That is our introduction into the new world.
Post-credit
Okay,
scenes.
our first TV show is going to be Black Widow. Okay, Black Widow
Good
is
move.
going to be an homage to James
one
Bond
wants
and a
to see
final
that.
goodbye to Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. This movie is meant to be cool. She is meant to be a cool
Wait, is it a
spy.
movie or a TV show?
This is a TV show. She's going to be a cool
Okay.
spy. We're going to see her being a cool spy.
what I
And the
confirmed.
only thing that this is setting up for future projects is her
But he said
sister
that's what
Yelena.
that-
The writers get to do whatever they want. Just make it cool, James
I
Bondy.
would kill this project.
Yeah, but make it
I'd
cool.
make it so
That's it.
freaking cool.
It should have
Keep
been
it-
either a
That's it.
Bourne or James Bond
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
those kind of
I
things.
never thought of that. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, and that's it. So you keep it small.
Because she's already a spy.
Yeah.
It would have
You
been
can-
cool.
you
Or
can
do like
even-
a throwback one where it's Black Widow with Barton.
so many
Because that means it doesn't
ideas.
connect to the.
Hawkeye,
it's-
yeah.
If you're going by your
Barton
theory
is
that the
it.
TV shows don't connect to the larger story, they just kind of provide
It's
extra
gotta be a
fluff.
completely different.
Then
So you
do-
can watch
then
it, but
do
you don't have to.
Budapest.
You could do
Budapest is a TV show.
Clint
There you
Barton
go.
and
yeah, but
Black
Yolanda
Widow.
needs to be connected
Wait,
in some
I do need to
shape
ask
or
a
form.
question.
Yeah,
Is
so that's-
Hawkeye
those
still
are the
happening?
things. Yeah, so I'll get
well,
to
it could be like a back and forth
get
thing
to
where
it.
you
Okay.
see stuff from her past, but also
Yeah,
in
but
the,
don't
this
even involve the blimp at all.
No, that's the thing.
you're
There is no blip in this.
No.
this
She
is
dies before the blip happens.
no,
Yes,
I'm
this is
talking about
Captain-
like
this
when
is
when
before-
Clint Barton and
Oh, Sounds
Yelena
South
needs to be a
African.
character in the show. Taskmaster needs to be a character in the show.
Yeah.
Taskmaster would be way different than Taskmaster.
Just make it comic book Taskmaster.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I want it to be comic book Taskmaster.
But that would make it funny because Taskmaster in the comics is like Deadpool.
he can be whatever you want. He can,
Never mind, don't make him comic
I don't care. All I, know
I
is
would
that
make him funny. Yeah,
this is what I know. I need Taskmaster for a simple reason. I'm setting up the Thunderbolts slowly and surely throughout this phase.
Yeah.
All right, and Taskmaster is the tank of the Thunderbolts. Taskmaster is your not the tank, but
Wouldn't that be
it's
Red
the
Hulk?
most. I'll explain in a second. What I meant by tank is like
Is Red Hulk
they're
or
the
She-Hulk?
Swiss Army knife that you throw at any problem because Taskmaster is the best character fit. to do that.
Abomination.
The Hulk, can't be a spy. He's gonna break down the door and just run in. But versus Taskmaster, he can be whatever you really need him to be. Yellen is the leader. Taskmaster can't be the leader. U.S. Agent is the face of the Thunderbolts, but he's not a good leader. So every aspect of the team is going to be established very purposefully. So in this case,
Sorry, who did we say what the leader was?
Yelena
is the leader.
Yelena is going to be the leader of the team.
Okay.
U.S. Agent is the public face of the
Yeah.
team. Hulk is the tank of the team, but
What Hulk
Taskmaster
is in
is your
What
Swiss
Hulk-
Army knife you can throw in any.
Wait, what
Red
Hulk are we putting in?
Red Hulk. I'll explain in a second.
Oh.
Okay,
Like
so
that.
that's the Black Widow team. The post-credit scene
Red Skull,
is
Red
going
Hulk,
to
let's go.
introduce Allegra de la Fontaine.
Okay.
She's recruiting Yelena to basically register herself to be the leader of the
Is
Thunderbolts.
it basically the same scene we got at the end?
Better.
of-
It's going to be more clear. It's going to be much better. Like I want her to introduce herself, who she is, and be very specific. I'm starting a team. Make it like the Nick Fury moment at the end of the Avengers.
So it's not-
but it's evil Avengers.
It's not Hawkeye killed your sister, so you need to.
It's not Hawkeye
Okay.
kills your sister. No.
Okay,
but
but
the
is
Hawkeye
that-
show will not have Yelena.
Can
in
I
it.
ask?
Cool.
Have we
Does that? But that messes up with the not establishing things. that are important later in TV shows.
I'll tell you why I disagree. Because this moment is all of these Thunderbolt stuff is introduced, like the Captain America thing at the end. That's introduced in the Thunderbolts right there. So when we get to the Thunderbolts movie, all of these characters are going to be reintroduced. But I just want to clarify, when I'm talking about major things, I'm talking about like the rules of the multiverse that are established in Loki, the TV show, should be established in a movie instead. The state of the world needs to be addressed in a movie. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier needs to be a movie so we can understand where we're at after the blip without having to watch the TV show. But we're getting introduced to a new character, Yelena, in the TV show. She is a new character that is going to be in the movies.
But she will be adequately reintroduced.
She will be adequately reintroduced in future films. Yes. Cool. Okay. Any more questions about the Black Widow TV show?
No, just when do I start?
Brent, you're not happy with me? You feel like I've broken my rules already?
No, well, I think you broke your rules already, and it started off bad with the Captain America movie.
You haven't broken your rules
but
already.
you won't change your mind, so I don't... You clarified, I still think it's wrong.
I don't like these first two projects.
I said that I could introduce new characters in the TV show.
No, the new characters, I just think that introducing the concept of the Thunderbolts is a bad idea.
There's a Thunderbolt post-credit scene in like 5 of these movies.
Okay, fine.
So you're going to know who they are.
That's bad.
So if I were writing the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, what I'd do is Falcon has come back. He is wary of the government because of his past interactions with them, and he hasn't had the 5 years. But because of those 5 years of the snap, the world has changed. Ross is no longer Secretary of State. There's a new president. There's a new government. And he thinks, I can work with these people because of the chaos and pain that is happening. I need to be Captain America. And Captain America is needed right now to help these people. But what he doesn't realize is that this government is just the same thing again. In fact, they're more powerful. They were able to use the snap as a way to gather more power to themselves in this now inter-country federal government. That it's not. I don't remember what they use. What the name of the government is. Falcon Winter Soldier, but it's like a European Union that now involves the United States basically, and they use the snap as a way to pull a bunch of power to themselves. Falcon uncovers this throughout the course of the story, probably through the eyes of an organization like the Flag Smashers that are using terrorist threats. Or using terroristic threats to basically try and destabilize this government so that they can actually help their people that are being ignored by the government. It's not going to end with a big speech of Senator do better.
You got to do better, Senator.
This government is not this. We've established that this intercontinental agency is evil. Captain America realizes he can't work with them, and he leaves them.
I know we got to do better. What suggestions do you have to do better?
You gotta do better.
You gotta do better. I don't.
So I hope
you gotta do better, man.
I hope that clarifies it, that it's different in the sense that
it sounds like Winter Soldier to me.
Oh, but I think it's a bit different from Winter Soldier because Winter Soldier is
I'm working with the government. Oh, I found out the government is not what I thought it was, and it's actually evil. Oh,
but it's no. But it's not. It's not like a big surprise that they're evil. It's hey. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
So why
would I recognize that I need?
But Sam wouldn't work with them.
I'm going to give you a chance.
Work with them. He's saying I'm giving you a chance because I recognize that I, as Captain America, need to be a symbol to the world that we can heal and come together.
Yeah, but then that's a symbol that Captain America is working with corrupt governments.
Yes, exactly, and that's what he basically. That's why he leaves.
But he wouldn't have joined them in the first place.
He doesn't know that
you said that we do know that they're corrupt.
No, he doesn't trust them. There's a difference there. It's that in the beginning, Captain America trusts in Winter Soldier. He trusts S.H.I.E.L.D. as an agency, and this is also different because it's not just S.H.I.E.L.D. He trusts S.H.I.E.L.D. as an agency and learns I can't trust S.H.I.E.L.D. as an agency. I need to do this on my own, and that's
so. This is a retread of this one.
No, it's not. What I'm saying. Oh my gosh, no. It's not a retread. This will not be the retread. You're acting as though these cursory ideas of a government agency isn't good equals the same movie. But that happens, that's just a plot element. The details and layers will flesh it all out.
Yeah.
So that it is more complex than just, government bad. Sam doesn't trust government, therefore he wouldn't work with government ever, period, end of story. You create a situation in which he says, I think I can do better with this government organization.
Be better senator.
I can help these people, and realizes ultimately this isn't going to work. I need to do this on my own. And it's establishing the New World Order. The name of Captain America 2, New World Order. Anyway. Sorry.
We established.
I don't think you're going to agree with me on that, but
I don't.
I think that sets up the world very well. Okay,
We established that he learns that the senator doesn't have to do better. He has to do
Sam
better.
has to do better. Exactly. Okay, the next movie is going to be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wow, that movie was so bad.
Okay.
I like Shang-Chi.
I like Shang-Chi as well,
I don't
but
think
these
you've
are
ever
the
liked
things
a movie before.
I enjoyed. I like Shang-Chi as well, but
It was better than most, but I don't know.
But here are the things that I had issue with.
I just want to go back to watch the first 10 years again.
Mostly the issue I have with Shang-Chi is that it didn't show Shang-Chi living in a world post-blip. So that's the first thing I change. Start off by introducing Shang-Chi in this world, post-blip, take away the world-ending nonsense of the ending of the movie that they're releasing, like Ragnarok, basically, through a demon dragon. Make it a smaller scale, father, son, sister story. Make it very deeply personal drama. Again, it's up to the writers as to what they do with that, but you're not allowed to do the world-ending story that they did. Obviously, I'll keep the elements of the culture, keep the elements of the style. I think that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. I want to push people away. So where the Captain America movie is very similar to Captain America Civil War and Winter Soldier, where it feels like an intergovernmental spy movie, Black Widow is going to feel like a James Bond movie. Shang-Chi needs to feel like a Kung Fu movie. It needs to feel like a Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
All right? And so that's where that movie is.
Jackie Chan
directed
with
it.
rings, power rings.
And
Jackie Chan directed
this is and Jackie Chan the director of we can hire the same director. He did pretty well. But anyway, the point is the post credit scene.
You could have
This
this
movie is introducing the rings. All right, the 10 rings are introduced in this movie. At the end, the post credit scene is Wong and Captain America are talking to Shang-Chi and asking him about the origin of the rings that his father got. As they're basically
forgot about that.
and sometime during the movie, either in that opening sequence when we're gonna show the dad getting the rings. He's gonna be given them by a mystery man in a green and purple suit. You don't see his face. You just see the green and purple suit. We all know who that is.
Is that like Shrek wearing a robe or something?
It's Shrek wearing a purple scarf.
Nothing else.
So
Martian Manhunter.
We're taking Marvel in a new direction. So DreamWorks has been acquired by Disney in this universe. And Puss in Boots is actually going to appear in the Kang Dynasty as
Puss in Boots.
I wasn't gonna say he was gonna appear as someone else. What more along the lines of he's gonna appear? He's gonna actually have the same amount. What am I saying?
I don't know.
Let me pitch this. Puss in Boots. He comes back.
How old are you?
You already asked that.
We already asked this. We said he's of age, baby.
Puss in Boots comes in with Perito, but because he's been multiversal traveling, Perito is fused to his back. And so he but it talks to him. And that's my character concept.
Okay.
At DreamWorks, you can hire me whenever you want.
That was a great pitch, Josiah. But
2 in the multiverse of madness.
Josiah, you were
pitch,
doing
Josiah.
a good job. Now
Great-
I don't know.
Great pitch, Josiah. I think we're going to go a different direction with the character. It's going to be He Who Remains. It's going to be a variant of Kang. It's He Who Remains.
Hang it. Okay.
But he who... Never mind.
Yeah, it's a
Whatever.
variant of
Remains.
Kang.
He who remains
I'm
is our
gonna-
Lord Jesus Christ.
It's Kang, but it's the version of Kang that is from Loki that is He
Kang
Who
of
Remains. Okay?
King of Kang.
Okay, next movie, The Eternals. It is gone. We're not making The Eternals.
Thank the
And
Lord.
I have a few reasons for this.
Jeez.
One,
That movie
the
sucks.
movie
Is not for children.
breaks
There's
the
a sexual scene in it.
The movie breaks.
And it is not for PG-13
I'm going to talk about this
year-olds.
just from a world building building
Tazi is
perspective.
13, you would know.
It breaks the world too much.
Does that mean we have to get rid of Iron Man 3 as well? Because he has sex with someone in the beginning of that one.
That's in the first. That's in Iron Man 1.
No, it's in Iron Man 3.
No, it's
Iron
2.
Man 1.
It is 2! I watched them.
He tells the Mandarin to meet him on the roof, and then he goes into the place with the
One
other
and
lady.
It's
not
1
the
and 3.
Mandarin. He tells the flamey guy.
Yeah.
Who is the man?
real
Oh my
Mandarin.
gosh, you're right.
Flamio.
I'm gonna finish
Flamio
this.
Hoffman.
We're cutting the Eternals. The Eternals introduces way too many characters, and it brings up way too many questions about like why did none of these characters like I know they sort of
They say they're not supposed to interfere with.
Yes, but then during what's it called? During the war between the Aztecs and the Spaniards, one of them says, "I'm gonna help the world." That's their big breaking point.
And then he goes off and lives in
Instead of going to help
alone.
the world, his character, because they can't have him help the world, which is the main conflict of why they split, they can't have him do it because it breaks the rest of the Marvel Universe. So instead they say he goes and makes a little commune of mind-controlled people, which doesn't make sense. Like if the argument,
do that,
if the argument was, I don't want to do this anymore.
I want to
I'm
help.
sick and no, not I want to help. I'm sick and tired of fighting for these Celestials. I'm gonna go do my own thing, and then you find him in his comic.
But if his own thing is going to go do,
What if we keep the movie, but we change that? That it's,
Well, you
I
could,
think he
but
was
I
just
think
like,
the main.
I don't want to keep going around to places and not being able to affect things, so I'm just going to go into my own little corner.
Well, let's
and
let-
not
let's
hear
let
the
Justin-
world.
he
Within the
doesn't
writing,
help
within-
anything. He just mind controls.
Within the writing,
Yeah, that's what
it doesn't.
He doesn't.
That doesn't
wa-
help anybody.
He doesn't want to be in places where there's conflict and not do anything, so he's just going to go to somewhere there's no conflict.
Within the
and
movie,
he's just
that's
by
so he
not
himself.
what he
doesn't help,
says.
is
But here's the thing: within
Yeah.
the movie, that's not what he says. In the
We're
movie,
agreeing.
he
I'm just
says.
saying. It's a dog crap movie.
In the movie, he says that he wants to help the world. Like he wants to help the entire world. You could change that thing, but I still think it introduces too many
I saw
characters.
it once, so I don't remember. But
It's
I
still.
don't think that's
I looked it
exactly
up
what he
before
says.
this because it bothered me, and I needed to talk about why I didn't like this movie. That's a small thing that you can change in the writing, but it introduces too many characters for the larger universe. It's 10 characters in one movie. It's too much, especially with all of the other new characters we're trying to introduce. And then the other thing is, it all revolves around the Celestial being born from the planet. Which is why they're there. So you need that element. You can't have the Celestial being born from the planet and not have the Eternals. But that's a world-ending event. So it's too big of an event for this phase at this point in the movie.
I don't know. We're trying to bring down the stakes.
Stakes. Yeah.
You can potentially introduce people from the Eternals group in other movies or whatever, but to introduce every single Eternal at that
With
big world stage is
the number of characters we're going to end up having when we get into the Kang Dynasty
is a lot.
Because like you're going to hear it later, but like I'm going to introduce the X-Men. That is going to be the one movie where I'm going to introduce a ton of characters, mostly because they're in the zeitgeist already. A lot of people already know who Wolverine is, who Cyclops is, who Jean Grey is, so that helps bridge the gap with that many characters. By the time you get to Secret Wars, you're going to have so many characters on that screen. I just don't need to introduce 10 brand new characters that are introducing this element of the Celestials, which is not going to impact the universe that I'm creating. The Celestials just complicate things too much.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them as
we should stick
people.
with
I know the Celestials. I'd rather
that
keep
logic, the Celestials were already introduced.
I was about to say something about it. I'd rather keep them at where they're at, which is far away, not explained. They don't care about the world. Because within the Marvel Universe, as we know it, the Celestials have been shown in...
Guardians 1.
Guardians 1. The head of a Celestial is nowhere, and the Celestial uses the Power Stone to destroy a planet. So...
That's about it.
That's about it. But I think the character thing alone is a reason enough to not do this movie. Okay.
Eternals is gone. Good.
Brent, you want to keep the Eternals? Brent hates my new universe. I knew this universe wouldn't work.
I don't hate it. I just think getting rid of it completely is just because it has too many characters. Is a bad.
And also it doesn't.
Do you introduce a whole nother? Like if it's not Eternals,
Here's the
what's
thing.
there?
I'm trying to cut movies from the phase because
there's so many.
There's way too many movies and TV shows within this phase already. So I've cut a few things.
I think you can bring them in
Eternals
a
is one
different
of them.
phase, but I don't think this one with where you're going with King.
Here's the thing.
They matter.
I'm basically replacing the Eternals movie with the X-Men in Phase 6.
I like the.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So there's no more Eternals. You're not going to get an
Are you
X-Men
keeping
movie. in
Fantastic
Phase 6.
Four?
Yes.
Thank the
We'll get there.
What about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them?
That's a Warner Brothers property.
Oh, okay. So in this world, Disney has bought DreamWorks and Warner Brothers.
You said DreamWorks bought Disney.
No. Disney bought DreamWorks. So then in the Kang Dynasty,
Actually, Discover bought everybody.
Discovery.
Puss in Boots,
The underdog. Everyone agrees.
Guys,
in the Kang Dynasty,
Mythbusters has opened up the multiverse.
Today we're gonna see if the Power Stone really could destroy Hulk's hand.
in the Kang Dynasty, Puss in Boots with his Perito backpack meets what's his name? Eddie Redmayne's character from Fantastic Beasts, and they use their Fantastic Beasts, who make a Type 2 civilization, to kill Kang in the Kang Dynasty. That's the
Type 2 civilization.
Like the ants?
Yeah, like the ants.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, wait, sorry, no.
So Brent,
I'll say this
we're
Spoilers.
Brent, Thor. Okay. So next movie is Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay.
I love thunder.
Scratch it completely.
First point. No. We're not scratching it completely.
Make it serious
I'm
again.
making this. No. It's still going to be a fun movie. It's just going to be very different.
Scratch
fun
the
movie.
goat.
The goats
I
are
kind of like the goats.
The goats were funny once, but it was the fact that they have the same jokes.
I loved it, to be honest.
I'll be honest.
Loved the screaming goats.
The reason, here's the thing, the reason the goats work is because it's funny the first time, and then it's funny like the fifth time.
Yeah,
and that's
role
what-
of comedy, but it's
you
not
have to have
funny to me.
You have to have 2, 3, 4 for it to be funny the fifth
And
time.
Tazi is the arbiter of funny.
Yeah.
But real quick, Thor:
The
Love and
pinnacle of funny
Thunder-
right here in Tazi Starfire, guys.
To clarify, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Hello.
is-
Nice to meet you.
I'll be here
Thor:
all
Love
night.
and Thunder. First point. This is not going to be a stupid comedy the way the movie as is.
Lord.
It's going to be close. It will be still closer to a comedy than not. It's going to be more in the vein of Guardians of the Galaxy
I'm
and Thor
fine with
Ragnarok,
that,
but
but
without
it's
the
so
improv of Thor Ragnarok. I think the improv is what really hurt this movie. Is that they were relying a lot on just people improving funny things.
And it wasn't funny.
And it wasn't very funny. Versus Thor Ragnarok, the script is a bit tighter, and there were still some funny scenes of improv, like the snake scene. He turned into a snake, and then he goes, stab me. Those moments are great. It's Taika's movie still, so he's going to do that. But actually, no, this is a new universe. I'm hiring James Gunn to make this and Guardians 3.
Was
you're
Taika
hiring him
making
to
Can
it?
I write?
Taika's been fired.
Can I write?
Just completely?
No, Taika's going to do Star Wars. He's doing a Star Wars.
Can I
trilogy.
write this movie?
James Gunn.
Taika
writes all
needs to
of
stick
this.
with Nazis.
But here's why it's James
Just
Gunn.
lame.
Okay, here's why.
He did
Here's
one
why.
movie about Nazis.
So good.
Here's
though.
why.
Jojo Rabbit is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is a movie about Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. They are both in the movie the entire time. All right,
That's what we wanted.
and
Yeah,
it's
that's
going,
what we
literally
wanted.
everybody
and it's
wanted that.
going to it needs to revolve around the cosmic fallout of the blip.
Yeah.
All right? So
Yeah.
we've seen Earth. We've seen the Earth fallout of the blip from the
consequences of
perspective.
Earth's
Exactly.
blip,
We've
and then
in the
now
first
it's everybody else.
in the first 2 movies, we saw the blip from 2 perspectives.
Ego's-
From
you can
Falcons,
bring
from a
what's her face
governmental
into
level.
it,
I also
the
remember
lesbian
something else.
chick.
Ego's a celestial, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
That was it.
Oh, I
was
guess
saying
she's
we
not
had
lesbian. She just cut her
But to
hair.
clarify, we've now.
What's her
I
name?
hope you see what I'm doing.
I don't know. She's
I've
powerful.
established the world
Who?
that Miss
Her
Marvel.
movie was garbage.
She's going to
Yeah.
have a movie. Don't worry.
yeah.
What?
Well, you could bring her into this
Who are
one,
we
right?
talking
Because
about?
she won't be in this one.
Captain Marvel.
She's going to get her own movie.
Yeah, that one.
She's
Captain
going to get her
Marvel,
own.
not Miss Marvel.
She'll get her own movie, and I'll explain why.
Miss Marvel's
So
Kamala
again,
Khan.
I hope you see what I'm doing. That we're setting up the world. The first movie is Captain America seeing the fallout from the blip from a governmental position. Shang-Chi is seeing it from a. That's how you
I
pronounce
thought
it.
you said Chung-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Sorry, I
Okay.
heard something else.
Oh my gosh, and I'm going to complete this thought so people hear what I'm saying.
You racist.
Shang-Chi is showing it from a personal, like, on-the-ground perspective from someone who's not in a position of power, and then Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be seeing it from a cosmic level. I don't know what the story is. That's going to be up to whoever writes it. We can throw in Jane Thor if you really feel like it.
Nah, keep her out of
but
it.
the main thing is
paid her too much money.
this movie needs to be about Thor and the Guardians, and it needs to end with Thor returning to Earth to be king of Asgard. All right, because that has been his arc through this whole thing, and
Is
I
to be
understand that at the
king.
end of Endgame, I liked that moment where he was saying, "I let my people down, I am going to go and be the hero that I need to be. Basically, find himself, like they were saying in the trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. He finds himself at the end of this movie. He's already gone through much. He's coming to grips with the death of all of these people that he knew, and he's rediscovering the hero that he is. And he comes back to be king of Asgard. So that's where the movie.
King of Asgard.
Yes, exactly.
Not some other chick.
No. He is the king of Asgard. He is the king of Asgard.
Which is his whole arc in the very first
exactly the
films.
first three movies.
Exactly.
You're supposed to develop a character to the point where he's supposed to be, not where you want him to be.
So this is basically taking all.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this is bringing Thor as a character to, like, his legacy standard. He is now a fully developed person. And that's because Thor as a character probably won't be in many movies after this. He's probably going to be in a few Avengers movies.
He's just overpowered.
But he's not going to be the main focus of the movies in the way he was in the first series.
It's also because he's
too
like an
OP
old,
now.
but also because he's just an older Avenger.
Exactly.
So they want to focus more on the newer Avengers.
Just imagine if he was to go against Kang. Like,
Kang will. Trust me,
I think Kang would
there's
win.
going to be a
I
fight
think so.
between Thor and Kang. Trust
And
me.
Kang kills Thor.
Thor would win.
Yeah, can we get some major character deaths in this?
We're going to see some major character deaths.
I mean,
but
he
here
just
we go.
basically said Kang kills Thor.
Okay, so guys, here we
Fang
go.
or
All right, so we're going to introduce the new character, Thanos and the Kang's love child.
Okay, so he actually
quick question:
Yes.
Kang or Thanos? Who wins?
Kang.
You think so?
Kang. Have you not seen the scene?
Have you seen Ant-Man?
No.
in Loki when he
died
opens
from
the
ants.
yes, because they severely underpowered him in that last.
That's what I mean.
version.
I'm talking about movie. The movie.
yes.
Oh, then
version
Thanos
of-
wipes the floor with him. Yeah.
Movie version.
That's what I
currently,
mean.
Thanos wipes the floor with him.
That's what I
But
mean.
in this universe,
King should be.
We are again.
King should be OP. Like
Yeah.
We are
like,
raising.
yeah.
We're raising the stakes again when we get to the end of this phase.
The
But I
TVA
feel like
is a
I'm just saying. I'm trying to establish
he will
that.
be able to go
and
Kang-
then ask this question,
Okay,
which is the movie version of King versus Endgame Thor.
Oh, Endgame Thor beats movie version of Kang.
Yes.
What I wish they had done
That's
in,
what my
in
point was.
Ant-Man is done the... I haven't read the comics, so I don't know what Kang is like in the comics, but at least the Earth Mightiest Heroes TV show version of Kang, where he's super overpowered, that's only when he has his future chair with him, that has all the future technology with him, that makes him overpowered, but as soon as they get him off of that, he becomes much more vulnerable, but because he has all his technology from the future on his chair...
Spoiler
alert. Yeah, I guess you can add in a big spoiler alert
His,
thing.
No. Spoiler
But if they
alert
had-
for the future pitch and the rest of this.
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert. You know, I'm gonna say it right.
But the chair, they even said the thing about the chair
We're
in
gonna-
Ant-Man,
we're going to
and they didn't...
Real quick, we're just talking about Thor: Love and Thunder. We're gonna get to all of the changes to Kang later. But Thor: Love and Thunder, we happy with that? It's a space romp. You're seeing the blip from a cosmic level. The fallout of the blip, Guardians, Thor, and it ends with Thor returning to Earth, being king of Asgard. We are now going to move on to Wakanda Forever, which is also going to be a movie. This will be a controversial decision.
I'm excited to hear it.
We are recasting T'Challa.
Boo!
I know this sucks. But this is my reason why.
Okay.
Well, then you can say why.
Okay.
My reason why is because the state of the world after the blip plays directly into the themes introduced in Black Panther 1. And by losing that, there's not a lot of direction for what Wakanda is within the Marvel Universe. And obviously T'Challa's dead, so his character arc ends there. We don't see the fallout of his decision to be, we are opening up Wakanda to the world.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that in this.
$90.7 trillion that the GDP, I looked it up earlier.
Oh, of Wakanda?
Of Wakanda, yeah. And
So here's the deal.
because vibranium is like...
I think
What
that
does that have to do? What is
Well,
your point?
because
You're trying to
it's
say?
really rich.
after the blip,
Gotcha.
they have the finances to
Help the
basically
world.
save everybody.
Here's
Build
the
new housing
here's
for
the
all the
deal
people who
though
are
is
displaced.
the fact that you don't need T'Challa to continue that arc.
This is why you need T'Challa.
This
This is why I think you need T'Challa to continue the arc. Because it was T'Challa's arc in the first movie. It wasn't another character's arc. It was his arc. And so you lose something. You can do it still, but you do lose something when T'Challa's not.
But Shuri and his mom kind of have the same arc alongside him, even though it's more pronounced in him because he's the main character. It's enough in the two characters that they can pick it up without you having to like unnaturally recast someone, because it's not because like you had a bad breakup with an actor. It's because he died, and so I feel like it's not really worth it to try to recast him when you can already do it with.
That's why I don't think you
Shuri.
should recast him. I don't think you should do it with Shuri either, because her arc is she doesn't care really about it at all, because she just misses her brother. So with that being said, I think it should have been the other guy. I don't know his name.
Michael B. Jordan?
No, not Michael. He's
Oh,
already dead.
the one from
M'Baku.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
And I think if he was like, I'm going to take over because I believe in what T'Challa was doing in saving everybody and instilling Wakanda culture or whatever in the rest of the world, within the rest of the world, I think that would have been a better story to tell than now let's try and, get this girl to, care about the culture, care about Wakanda, care about the people and all that stuff. It was flat to me.
So this is another reason why I want to recast T'Challa, because if you don't recast T'Challa, the movie has to be about the fallout of T'Challa's death.
No. I don't think so. I think you could do both. That's what I mean. M'Baku, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He is so, because of T'Challa's death and moved from his death and what he was doing, he could then be like, no, we're going to do what T'Challa was going to do, because this is like, he could stand up and be the leader that Wakanda actually needs, whereas the other chick, his sister, is just sad. Entire film.
This is the reason I don't like it. It's because the character dies off screen. And the reason it's so emotional for us is because we have this connection to the actor.
Yeah.
But from a universe's sake, you have to kill one of your main characters off screen and then bring in, this new world of, I'm gonna do all of this because T'Challa died. Versus, you can still pay homage to T'Challa and to Chadwick Boseman and still have this character that is continuing his arc from the first movie that he was in.
I don't think so.
Well,
not with.
I'm the producer.
Justin's the producer. We're being forced to do this. So
hear me out. Why doesn't my version of Wakanda Forever?
It's too busy.
How is it too busy?
How is it too busy?
Because you're killing a main character off screen. You are now having if you had killed
my story still serves your purpose.
If Black Panther had died in Endgame, I would agree with you.
Well, he dies in the
he dies in the blip.
But it made no sense for him not to come back.
It's requiring
he comes back, but
it's requiring knowledge. It's required, but here's the thing: it's requiring knowledge. It's requiring knowledge of the real world situation that Chadwick Boseman died to progress the plot of a movie in which Chadwick Boseman doesn't exist.
Do my boy Chadwick like that.
I just think
but here's the thing: I don't think it's disrespecting Chadwick Boseman.
I think so.
I disagree with that. It's disrespect. That's like saying. Did what's this called? Did Matt Reeves die? Not Matt Reeves. The guy who played Superman. The first guy who played Superman. Is it disrespectful to have four different versions of Superman?
Different universes.
No, because those are different.
Okay, in that case, is it disrespectful to recast George Clooney, who played Batman, and then was the same Batman?
George Clooney is still alive today.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, is it disrespectful? I'm saying that you guys are saying that it's disrespectful to recast the role.
No, it's like if Christian Bale. It's like if Christian Bale died after The Dark Knight, and then
he had
cast somebody else to do The Dark Knight Rises.
Chadwick Boseman had already done 4 movies at that point. George Clooney did 1 movie as Batman.
Okay, sorry. Michael Keaton got recast into George Clooney.
Midway through his Batman movies?
That did happen.
Or, as Josiah said, after Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises was a different actor for Batman.
I disagree.
But you say it's the same person?
I disagree. I think that I don't think it's disrespectful to recast the role.
Every Chadwick Boseman fan is going to hate you now.
It just forces you into a narrative box that I don't want to be in.
Well, regardless, let's not rehash. Let's not keep hashing this out because
I think
Justin
you recast
Producer
T'Challa. The movie is going to be showing Wakanda's response to the blip,
Disrespectful.
carrying on
do a
the
part
themes
two
of
of
the
this.
first movie when T'Challa decided to
honest, I
open
like
up
this
Wakanda
less
to the
than,
world.
But you
What is
do the
currently in here
same
already?
thing if somebody just
The whole,
carries.
like,
Oh my
series.
gosh!
Hey,
fine, that's it. M'Baku is the king. M'Baku's the king.
No, but
I've been voted down.
Explain to me.
I already did.
You did.
It's requiring knowledge of real world events to explain what's going on in a movie in which
I
Chadwick
understand,
Boseman is not a character. He's not a Chadwick Boseman is his own person.
We as
in the real
Marvel
world.
own
We're
his
killing a
likeness
main
as Black
character
Panther.
off
We
screen.
can
No,
just
I
recreate
understand.
his
You now
face.
have to deal with
I understand.
now he's dying, so now you have to explore what is his sister's response to this?
We
What is
already
his
are
mother's
exploring
response to
all of
this?
that.
No, because he's not dying in my version. Now we're exploring the thematic elements of what happens when Wakanda is open to the world.
No, I understood. Though I disagree
What are
with
the
this as
interpersonal
creative-
conflicts that are created when?
But
when
they
it
already
has been-
were doing that in Wakanda
We haven't
Forever.
explored it yet, though.
No, but they already were doing it in Wakanda. They did that in Wakanda Forever.
And Justin's
No,
point.
Wakanda-
the whole thing
and
where
my
they,
point
they
is that I'm
have
saying-
other things
Justin's
in other
point is he
countries.
didn't like that
I'm
about
saying in
Wakanda
the Wakanda
Forever.
Forever,
wants
I
that.
didn't like that. It was too busy. They opened up with his death.
Because
then
they
they're
did
dealing
it
with what
wrong.
happens when they open up the world. And then they're like, now we need vibranium. So they introduce a whole nother species
Because
of
they
people.
did
and
it
it keeps
wrong.
Okay, you can just cut out the whole Namor stuff and just
I am
have
cutting
it as
out the
those
Namor
two
stuff.
things.
Namor is not a character in this movie.
Okay, so just cut out
but let's-
Namor and continue the two thread lines of T'Challa being dead and then dealing with the
that's
other
it.
countries.
I've been shouted down. I've been shouted down by
I'll
you
defend,
guys.
I'll come to
No, no,
Justin's
no.
defense.
I am okay with your choice. I just disagree.
I disagree with
And
it, but I
here's
think it's
why.
I also
reasoned,
disagree.
and it's well reasoned, and we can't really get into
You know
why.
what?
but-
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's it.
It does matter.
I'm
No,
gonna
it's
remove
we're
it.
talking about
Black
Phase
Panther's
4
been-
of
Black
Marvel
Panther
here.
was gonna be a main character in the Avengers movies.
Well, let's
but
do it.
He's
Keep
gone.
it.
He's
No,
gone
keep
now.
it. Hey, don't be upset by Brent's rapacious screaming.
No, listen.
I said like one thing. Tazi was
Listen
yelling
to
at
me.
more.
I have more
I'm
passion
the
in
rapacious
this
one.
than
There's
Brent
another
does.
reason I want to keep him. Baron Zemo is going to be in the
Because he's
Thunderbolts.
because he's the
He's
one of
I
the
need
few
his
black
rela-
characters.
I need the relate. What? I get M'Baku as well.
Yeah, he
I
gets
have
a black
an
character either way.
I have an entire
Country.
wonderful like country that is all out.
So
people.
wait, hold
Let's
on.
keep
But Zemo is part of the Thunderbolts.
What does
but
African
but
people have to do
there is
with
no
it?
more conflict with Zemo.
There is no conflict. There's a character
So-
relationship there. I'm trying to
Because when he
preserve
tries to kill himself
character
and he says no in
relationships.
Civil
Yeah,
War.
So
that's
then,
it,
yes,
but-
and I'm
but
trying
there's
to
no more
preserve
conflict.
character relationships.
I
There's no more
understand
conflict. There's a
that.
character relationship.
So because we understand it, and he's Kevin Feige, and he's imposing his will
He's
on
not Kevin
us.
Feige,
No,
he's
I-
Justin Lawrence.
I'm Justin Lawrence.
power.
Because
I
you're
need
biased.
22 years old.
No,
let me know in the comments.
Black
if you
Panther
think
is
that
in
it's-
this movie.
No. We're gonna move on.
No,
from
no.
this.
Kansas, hear us out.
I'm stealing Tazi's idea. I'm gonna steal Tazi's idea because ultimately you could technically throw M'Baku into the Black Panther role.
It's not. Wait,
he
did
is
you
the
hit,
character.
you hit pause? Oh, wait, no. you didn't. Sorry.
So just to clarify, that's it. Chadwick Boseman, I love you. You're.
You
God,
rest in
you were
peace
saying
right
rest in
now?
peace, sir.
Hear me out.
No. We're moving on. We're moving on.
No, we're not,
M'Baku
because I
is
want to
now
say
Black
this.
Panther in the movie.
We do have a lot
Let
of to
me
get through,
go.
apparently.
I don't care. Let me say something.
Let him
Everybody's
cook.
been talking. Nobody's shut me down. I don't care if this show is 3 hours long. It doesn't matter to me. Let me speak. Holy crap.
Tazi, we always let you
get
speak.
the same thing. Yes, you miss the character attributes from the other movies and the other shows from
I'm
First
about to
Phases.
take everything you're about to say and put it into the pitch.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, that's why I was saying stop talking.
I
because
won!
I'm moving on.
You lost.
Let me know in
You
the
didn't get
comments.
what you
I was
wanted.
agreeing with
I
you.
agreed with you.
I agreed with
no,
you.
with Ant-Man or with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's because
You're not getting what you wanted.
that's-
I'm getting what I wanted.
That's because
Yeah,
he got
Screw you,
Wait,
Brent.
hold on.
I'm doing Black.
Why did
Whoa,
you count
whoa,
out
whoa,
to
whoa.
Tazi, but not to
Calm
me?
down, calm down.
Count
down.
I'm doing
This
Black
is
Widow.
this is why
Finally,
because
let's go.
you offered no solution.
3,
You
2.
You offered no
One.
solutions. You just said you didn't like it, and I explained to you
This
that
isn't
I
really a
can't-
relevant discussion
The things
to
I
the
can't change
purpose of the episode.
because the Captain America story that I just pitched is pivotal to the rest of this series.
I'd like to hear the rest of the series and
Yes.
not recast the rest of it.
We're not recasting T'Challa again. Let me know if
Well,
you
let's
think it's
recast it.
disrespectful to recast T'Challa.
If it's pivotal that Black Panther is T'Challa in the rest of the
No,
pitch,
I just think that the movie gets way too busy and you're dealing with too many ideas if you
Let me
throw
make the freaking movie.
real
It won't
life
be too
death
busy
of
at all.
Chadwick Boseman into the
I'm
story.
telling you right now,
But here's
in my
what's
head,
important.
it's not busy. I'm
This
watching
is,
it right
this
now.
Will, this is the important thing. This is the important thing. Wakanda is going to be set up in this movie as the only governmental agency that's basically on the side of the people that are getting hurt by the blip. And that this overarching government
M'Baku
force...
loves the people.
Exactly. So this evil government force that we established in the first Captain America, this union that was formed after the snap and gained power through that period and is now abusing their power. They're creating the Thunderbolts. They've created SWORD. Wakanda is going to stand within the universe as the governmental agency that is against them.
Okay.
All right. So that's we're setting up a main conflict of the world in this movie.
This sounds good.
All right. The post-credit scene 1, Baron Zemo is going to get brought into the Thunderbolts. So we're going to see recruiting of Baron Zemo to the Thunderbolts.
Is Zemo in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
No,
I don't
he's
remember.
not. He's not. He's in.
No,
No,
not
in this
the
universe.
actor.
He's
In
not.
this
Falcon Winter
In my
Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier, he is not. We're going to be going into prison where Baron Zemo's at, and she's going to be pulling him out of prison.
Okay.
Okay. Post-credit scene 2, we are teasing.
Wait, can you
Namor.
because the audience has no context to the Thunder.
The
peoples.
Thunderbolts are introduced
said
in the
Thunderbirds.
comic book series Civil War. They are
motorcycle.
a group of villains that the government basically springs
the
from
Suicide
prison.
Squad.
It's the Suicide Squad, but for
Marvel.
Marvel.
And Norman
Yeah, yeah.
Osborn leads them and is Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is going to be...
It's Iron.
That is correct.
Yeah. Iron Patriot,
Well, he's
sorry.
Iron
Yeah,
Patriot.
yeah. I know, but he said
He
Iron.
becomes
He's
Iron
dead.
Man and Captain America in one because the Civil War has made Iron Man and Captain America no longer like figures that we can look up to. So anyway, we're teasing Baron Zemo, and then we're introducing Namor. He's paying more attention to the surface war now because of
you
everything
explain
that
him?
happened with the snap. Namor is the king of Atlantis. He is going to be the king of Atlantis. No, they changed it to Talokan in the movie.
I don't think he's Atlantis in the.
It is. In the
It's
comic
Google
books,
time.
he is the king of Atlantis, not Talokan. So he is the king of Atlantis. We can still do everything with it's in Mexico, and it's
He's
all of the
super
Mexican
wealthy.
stuff.
They're
He's super
trillions
wealthy.
of dollars.
He's very powerful. But
Because they have
we're
government
just going to tease him. We're going to tease him here
Anyway.
that he is present and will become relevant later. All right.
Okay.
So we're just teasing
And
that,
this is
this
the
giant kingdom is
post-credit
present.
of what?
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda.
And there's 2 post-credit scenes in this one.
Okay.
Okay, now we're getting to Loki. This is our Avengers of the Phase 4. All right, so if you know, and there's going to be TV shows.
Is this
I'm
where
gonna
they
describe
come,
them. I'm
come
gonna do-
together?
Yeah, but before I go into Loki, no, they're not coming together. It's going to be the big movie.
Wait, this is the TV show or the?
This is going to be a movie.
Okay.
Atlantis, yeah.
Okay, so now real quick, I'm going to go into the TV shows.
Oh, son of the sea captain. I thought it said he was the princess of Atlantis.
So the TV shows, Loki will end it, but we're going to intersperse these TV shows throughout the entire Phase 4. WandaVision. It's a very similar show to what we already got, but it's going to happen after Falcon Winter Soldier, so we've already
it's going
established
to be more
Sword.
interesting.
Hey, can we
from the
can we
beginning.
tease the multiverse by actually having the first Quicksilver that shows up be a variant of
No,
Quicksilver?
we're not going to have that version of Quicksilver because it's confusing everyone.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're
What
not
about
gonna do
the
that.
X-Men?
No. WandaVision is not a multiverse
That's what I meant.
show. She's
No,
using.
I'm saying when we get to X.
So this is what's important about this show in terms of Wanda's character or on a plot level. I think you got to deal with the whole thing with grief. You're going to turn her more jaded towards the world because of how SWORD is treating her, how the governmental force that was once protecting her now treats her. She wants her kids, all that stuff, dealing with grief, and she has reality bending power. She's developed her reality bending. Okay, those are the important things that are established in this, but those are all very. But just to clarify,
the full extent of her power. Is,
just within the show where she controls the town.
okay.
All right, but just to
It's a very
clarify,
similar
these
show.
are all very character specific things.
Yeah.
These are not
Self-contained.
These are going to come up later in movies later, but they're not going to be as important to the larger narrative. We're just concentrating on Wanda as a character. We're still going to have What If. have fun. One What If was awesome.
Never watched
But
it.
this one is going to come out. But just to clarify, What If comes out after Loki. Okay, so this is going to be the bookend of Phase 4. No, it's because the multiverse gets opened in Loki, so we don't have our multiverse show until after Loki
Loki
premieres.
similar to what Loki is?
Yeah, I'll explain Loki in a second. I'm just going through the TV shows.
Okay.
The only thing that really matters in this TV show is you're going to see the Watcher awaken, because the way the universe rules are going to work, the Watcher has basically been put to sleep by He Who Remains. Because you can't. It's weird to have this multiversal being outside of He Who Remains. You need to have He Who Remains be in complete control of the multiverse. So the Watcher, you'll see him like wake up and then start re-exploring the multiverse. And you're also going to see Dark Doctor Strange. Dark Doctor Strange becomes very important later. Yeah. But that his character introduction will be in What If. The Hawkeye TV show, same sort of. You want to keep it fun. It's a street level. It's a street level TV show. Keep it to a street level TV show.
Wasn't he teased? Was it him that was teased with the purple and green?
It was He Who Remains is the purple and green guy. Keep it small scale. You're going to introduce Kingpin as the main street level villain, and he's going to be your
more
Kang.
involved.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah, he's going to be more involved because he's going to be your Kang or Thanos of the street level movies. That'll be Spider-Man 4, Daredevil Born Again, Shang-Chi 2. Those are all going to be street level movies. He's going to be like involved in them as the Kingpin of New York.
The main villain in all of those.
Yeah, you still have the Moon Knight TV show. I would rewrite the ending. I like the character, but the ending is bad.
Yeah. And can we please get Jake Lockley in earlier?
We'll leave it up to the writers. Okay. Miss Marvel, you're gonna make the goal with all these TV shows, just to clarify, is that you get to play with the genre a bit. So Miss Marvel is gonna be more of a teen, like what Brent was saying. It's going to be a high school drama. All right. So none of this time traveling.
Which one is this?
Miss Marvel.
No time traveling. No. There's beings from another dimension. It's just she has gotten her superpowers. She's dealing with how to use her superpowers in high school.
Like an awkward, almost like a puberty thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that.
It's a coming of age story, and you keep it to that. All right.
Like trying to hide the powers.
Exactly.
While going to school.
Hawkeye is going to be a holiday special, so it's very reminiscent of a Christmas movie, of like I'll be home for Christmas, and
which is.
What?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is. It's almost like a Christmas movie. It's not gonna be Daredevil. It's not gonna be brutal street action. It's going to be It's a Wonderful Life, but in a superhero world. Moon Knight is more of an adventure TV show. So it's like an Indiana Jones situation.
I like that.
Yeah. And then She-Hulk Attorney at Law, we're cutting She-Hulk.
Thank the Lord.
Good.
I think it's. Here's the thing. I think it's just the reason. I know Brent likes She-Hulk.
I actually really like She-Hulk.
I think
I thought there were some parts that weren't great, but I actually like.
Here's the reason why. I think she's the weakest character out of all of the other ones. She's just Hulk again.
I just saw
I know
the
we're gonna. I know there's multiple
scenes
things
that were so bad. And the CG that was really bad.
But
and
the other thing is
I'm
she's
never
also
watching
a fourth wall character, and I would like Deadpool to be the only fourth wall character that we like.
Wait, she's a fourth wall character?
The ending
in the
of
comic
the
book,
TV
she was
show,
the first. She was
the ending
she
of
was
the
the
TV
first
show. She
fourth
enters
wall
Disney
character,
Plus,
and then they made
talks to the
Deadpool
Marvel
a fourth wall
machine
character.
that produces Marvel movies.
Okay.
What the heck? It's like Lucy when she turned into a flash drive. You remember that movie?
No.
It's totally different.
Okay, but
Say what Brent said.
She-Hulk in the comics, She-Hulk was the first character to like break the fourth wall, and then they made Deadpool afterwards.
Yeah, and in this case, it's a decision made on the fact that Deadpool is a more popular character.
Yeah.
And
everyone loves Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly. Okay, so those are all the TV shows we're doing, but
He owns a soccer
we're now
team.
going to get into the
And a
Loki
whiskey brand.
The Loki movie.
Gin.
Okay, the Loki movie is going to end this TV show. There's some.
Are you doing a movie? Not
Loki.
It's going to be a movie
Oh, yeah,
instead of a
'cause you
TV
said
show.
Yeah, I forgot.
This is our
stuff.
Avengers level movie. Now remember, the story is revolving around 2012 Loki.
Yeah.
So his character needs to be consistent with the crazy, evil trickster of the 2012 universe, and this is important. The plot will be
Do you
basically
think
the
his
same.
character in Loki was not?
Not by the end.
It's not because
he goes through a lot.
Well, because they take him. First of all, they just make him redo his character arc in one episode so that he can be the Loki of Infinity War.
That was my issue with it. It's a one episode. It's a one episode transition, and I'm keeping him that way for a good reason, and you'll see why.
This is the big.
But also,
everybody comes together to save the world.
No. This is just
still
this is still just a standalone Loki movie, but it's got the impact on the universe that an Avengers movie would have.
Also, it's not a one episode arc. He's still like.
He sits down and they show him his life from the
and then he goes with
timeline.
Sylvie, and then he doesn't stay with the good guys. He goes to be with Sylvie to get out of the TVA.
Okay, I disagree that I don't think he's as crazy, manic, or over the top, or evil, or selfish as he is in 2012 Loki. That they turn him on a dime in the first episode with his flashback through the prime timeline because they wanted to have his character have a different conflict at the end of the TV show. And I'm gonna let me just go through it and you'll see what it earned. Well, just real quick, I'm gonna go through this new movie and just let me know what you think. So this is a similar setup to the TV show. Loki grabs the time stone or the space stone, travels to another part of the planet. The TVA arrest him, and we're just gonna speed up the pacing of that moment. So instead of having the first episode be like that interrogation thing, you're basically getting to the inciting incident of what's it called? What's his name? The character, the TVA guy? Mobius. You're getting to the moment of Mobius saying, I want to use Loki to hunt down Sylvie sooner. Mm-hmm. All right? And that's our main setup of the movie, is that they're going to go hunt Sylvie. You still have... you're getting rid of the guys who run the universe.
The timekeepers.
The timekeepers. It is just He Who Remains. And they know it's He Who Remains. You don't need the twist at the end, or you can still have the twist at the end where it's like, oh, they're all people pulled from the timeline, they're all variants, but you can just have He Who Remains be the leader of the TVA, and that everyone knows that. All right, so they go after Sylvie. You get the whole. They catch up to female Loki, and Loki goes with her. They end up outsmarting the TVA. Loki starts sort of hearing her being like, why are we capitulating to the TVA and their, fascistic ideals of how the timeline should run? I should be able to exist as a person, and we need to kill the person who's in control of it all. He Who Remains. Loki, god of mischief, is like, that sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Let the chaos reign. Mm-hmm. And then he also is thinking, it can also be an opportunity for me to become powerful. Here, by the way. So you still have Loki falling in love with Sylvie. But their main goal is to get to He Who Remains. All right, and you're going to do all the fun stuff where they're exploring all the different timelines. You're establishing the sacred timeline and how they snip. Is it snipping? What's it
called?
Pruning. How they prune different universes.
They're old.
And how they prune different universes, and then you get to He Who Remains. Now, instead of in the Loki show, He Who Remains explains what's going on as an attempt to get Loki or Sylvie to basically take over for him. In this situation, He Who Remains is a variant of Loki, or a variant of Kang, that was smart enough to figure out how to trim all the timelines to stop himself. He figured out the pruning technology, but he's not the overpowered fighter that our main villain Kang is going to be. Mm-hmm. So in this case, he's trying to talk them out of killing him, basically, by explaining to them what's going on and why he does what he does.
Can I correct that?
Yeah.
In the show, he says, either you kill me and one of you takes over, or you let me continue doing what I'm doing.
So
Doesn't he say I'm tired and wants one of them to take over?
He does say that he's old and it's getting burdensome, but he doesn't say that that's why he's talking to them. He says that is why I would let you take over if you kill me.
He was like, if you kill me, one of you needs to take over.
Okay, so that can remain the same.
More of me will come in and ruin the universes.
That can remain the same then. They're like, we're here to kill you, and he says, here's why that's a bad idea. Don't kill me, or if you do kill me, take over my job.
Because it will be worse.
Because it will be worse.
This is a necessary evil.
But here's the thing. I think he says, you can leave me alive or you can kill me. And he basically convinces Sylvie that she should leave him alive. But what he says is, Sylvie, you need to kill yourself. If you stay alive as a variant for much longer, I'm not going to be able to continue pruning the universes that you are creating by simply existing. You both need to kill yourselves, prune yourselves, so that I can continue maintaining the timeline.
But if the TVA employees are variants, why does she need to kill herself?
Variants
Marvel.
You just said they should be variants.
I'm correcting what I said earlier because this is what I wrote down. That thing about them still being variants, I said out of the blue and offhand. Ignore it. That is not. They're not variants. They are pulled from the sacred timeline, and they are real people that belong there.
Okay.
But Loki and Loki do not belong there. Sylvie and Loki, we're establishing within the rules that if within the sacred timeline there are variants that just are alive and around, it's going to allow other Kangs through. And so this is the choice they have to make at the end of the movie. Do they kill themselves and allow Kang and He Who Remains to continue being and doing what he's doing, or do they just do what they set out to do and unleash the multiverse? Sylvie is not convinced, or Sylvie is like, I think I might have to kill myself. 2012 Loki would never choose to kill himself. He kills He Who Remains. He loves Sylvie. He wants to be a power. He's the god of mischief. He unleashes the multiverse on the world by killing He Who Remains. And that's where you end Phase 4. Loki has opened the multiverse. I think that fits his character more. It's a very selfish decision. You also, as an audience member, aren't actually sure if Kang is telling the truth. He is. He Who Remains is telling the truth. And I don't know. I like the idea of the ending decision not being like actually having some stakes of kill yourselves and everything goes back to normal, or kill me. Why are you laughing?
Rosie's around.
And then walk away.
She's a dog.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
So, what do you guys think of Loki kills He Who Remains and unleashes the
I still
multiverse?
like his arc in the show.
All right, Brent prefers the arc in the show. What is his arc in the show?
I feel like it's fast for. It might be faster, but that's because he has shown literally his entire life.
What's the final decision of the end of the Loki show?
Sylvie kills
He Who Remains.
Kills
That's the
He Who
final
Remains
decision.
because she has been running for much longer than Loki has been, known as a variant. Like he hasn't been at the TVA very long, but Sylvie has been literally running since she was a child.
I didn't explain their characters. I said, what is the decision that is made at the end of the show?
What do you mean? The Loki
what is the decision that He Who Remains gives to them about the multiverse? Because they ultimately decide to unleash the multiverse. What you just said was
Sylvie just wants to kill. Sylvie doesn't care what the fallout of her decision is. She just wants to kill the guy who made her run for her entire life and didn't let her just live her life. Loki's saying, he sounds like he's telling the truth. I believe him. We should keep him alive because he is a necessary evil to stop the rest of the world from being ruined.
My argument
Sylvie pushes Loki through the portal, and then Sylvie kills He Who Remains.
So my argument is 2012 Loki would never be in a position to have an argument like that. He'd be on Sylvie's side. I think Sylvie is much more realistic for Sylvie to have a bit of a crisis in that moment of she thought the world was one thing, evil fascist dictator running the timeline, when in reality is a nobler cause, because Sylvie's character is more noble than 2012 Loki.
But I think you're saying 2012 Loki going straight to that position. But 2012 Loki doesn't go straight to that position. He has a bunch of stuff happen to him in between.
And this is going to be just something we disagree with. I don't think that the arc worked. I didn't think that it made any sense for what happened in the show for the character to change as much as he did. Because in the movies, he changes over the course of 7 years in 2 movies.
Okay, but
versus immediately after 3 days, he's like, I want to rip out a man's eye in an attempt to bring Thanos Earth, where he can slaughter half the population, to, man, I don't should we really not make a selfish decision here?
Yes, but a lot of stuff happens in between those two events.
It's a 3-day period of time where he changes.
But a lot of stuff still happens.
He can still
in those
change
3 days.
in 3 days.
It's
Yeah.
literally the thing that he
Tazi,
was
what is
just
your
Justin.
opinion on
Okay,
this?
no, hold on. I have a thought here. Shut up. Not you. Shut up, Justin. Trying to change it. I love you, Tazi. You're blocking my light though.
And your head was out of the frame.
Literally the thing that was just the crux of his entire, like the Tesseract being the
crux.
thing, the ultimate
The
power that he
Horcrux.
just had in the last movie, being a paperweight to these people, being like, okay, these people are actually way more important than me, and they're showing me that my ultimate purpose is to just die because, like, obviously they are more powerful than I or anyone could ever be.
Yeah, and I'm
And
telling
they are
you,
telling me that because they know at all time they are timeless.
Mm-hmm.
They know that my purpose is to die. I always die to do this thing to set forward the rest of the things.
and now I'm telling you, 2012 Loki says to that, you say my goal is to die. I disagree.
And he
I
does say that.
And so that's what I'm saying is this is 2012 Loki says, wow, the Tesseract is useless here. There's power that I can have that is more powerful than a Tesseract. I want that. And that's where the character, that's the ending
what
of
he
this.
does say until he.
And I'm saying keep that characterization. I'm saying don't have Loki
So don't
change
have
into
character
a hero.
development.
No, I'm saying keep him as evil Loki, and then you can have this. If you want to change him, you can change him later. I'm saying it's more impactful to have evil Loki unleash the multiverse than to have him change and be a nice guy.
I don't think so necessarily, because Brent makes a good point that if this has been the Tesseract has been his goal for
Power has been his goal.
Yeah, but he gets so fixated on the Tesseract and the Infinity Stones as his means of power.
What ultimately
and then-
changes him in the Marvel universe? His relationship with his
Thor,
family.
yeah.
He doesn't have that to change him. So your argument is that the thing he wants.
I
He
did
kind
power.
of does because
moment-
he's shown that his
Didn't finish my argument.
His actions, his selfish actions, kills his mother, and kills basically his entire people with
Yeah.
Thanos.
The Lawrence brothers, everybody.
But all this to say is power has been his entire goal, and it's been power. It's power coming from a certain source, and he's fixated on a certain source for so long. And to say actually it means nothing, he couldn't then turn on a dime and be like, oh well, I'll just go for the thing that's above
Is
it.
it certain
He would
source?
be.
In the first movie, it's not in the first
Okay, but
movie.
that's the
He's
most
after power
relevant.
for just he wants Asgard. He just wants power over Asgard, and then he wants power over Earth.
Kind of, but
I just want power.
I think the whole point is that the things that he has been looking for power in are proven to be irrelevant to him, and so then he wouldn't just suddenly be like, "Oh, well, I'll just go for the power that's above me." He would think, "Wow, I am so small and insignificant. How dare I think
what?
that I can?"
I don't understand that. He's
What
the
I-
most egotistical character in the entire series.
But what Brent and I are saying is that the force of experiencing the TVA and everything that the TVA shows him proves to him that his egotistical nature is irrational. and he would change
normally it would, but here's what the difference is. Even though seeing all of that, he still makes the decision to be selfish and egotistical. Even though he sees everything, he still makes the selfish decision to go and completely destroy everything that's happening. That's basically what you're saying,
That's what
right?
I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it seemed...
He's saying instead of changing Loki, you keep him the same.
Yeah, so everything that you guys said, there's a decision point. It's do I change in the weight of my own smallness, do I change? Or do I say screw it?
Screw change. I'm going to stay the
Screw
same.
change, I'm going to stay the same. So I'm saying this character says, wow, I might be small, but I can have the power to travel across multiverses, and I can have Sylvie.
Okay,
and he makes that decision.
So can I get this straight? The whole point of this movie is just to unleash the multiverse. There's no character development. There's nothing like that. It's just to introduce
The
Sylvie
character
and to
development-
get the multiverse
No,
started.
no, the character development
Happens to
here
Sylvie.
is
Yes.
he will not
Yeah, thank
develop.
you.
That's some like even though seeing all
But
of
you've already
this,
seen him develop.
Guys, stop. Josiah just said what the character development
It's in Sylvie,
is.
it's
No,
not in
but-
Loki.
Sylvie is the character that develops, not Loki.
yes, but no, he still develops. right?
But he's developing in a different way.
But
He's
you've already
developing
seen
in a
him-
negative way. He's developing backwards.
negative
instead of
development.
developing to be better.
So that's what I'm
You have
saying.
Good
is
and bad.
I'm
He
saying,
develops and continue.
yeah,
to
removing
bad.
the relationship of Thor, removing that relationship sends Loki on the wrong path. That's my argument here.
Yeah.
Versus now you can have Loki in an Avengers movie, this Loki that unleashed the multiverse, meet with King Thor, the Thor who has gone through the perfect arc, and he is so disappointed in what his brother has become because he saw what would happen if he had maintained his relationship with Loki. And then ultimately, I don't know if this were where it will come to, but you could also ultimately end that with Thor as the one who has to kill Loki, this new evil Loki. So I'm just basically saying you're taking the development of original Loki and you're creating a new character. You're creating the Loki that stays a villain. You're creating a Loki who embraces even more so his god of mischief. He's becoming more selfish, more egotistical, and Josiah nailed it on the head. The change in character comes from Sylvie, and that Sylvie is going to play a much more important role later down the line.
But like,
because
was
of everything
Loki
that's
ever
gone on.
really good?
Yes.
Has he ever done anything
'Cause
out of his own good?
The
self-good.
main
Wait, what?
Loki.
What
Has
do you
he
mean by
ever done
self-good?
anything out of things that help himself? Has he ever done something that doesn't help himself? Helping the ship escape.
Yeah. This
Um,
is a completely different Loki. These are two separate Lokis.
Yeah, I'm saying they're very different Lokis. I'm
This
saying
will be the evil Loki, where the other one was a redeemed good Loki.
You're
other
seeing
Loki
two-
redeems himself.
The other Loki does redeem
He
himself.
saves the ship at the
And
end of
this Loki
Ragnarok.
And then
doesn't have
and then
to.
tries to sacrifice his life for Thor.
Do you think Hela would have let him live if he had joined with Hela?
What?
He doesn't try to. What are you
doesn't-
talking
what are you
So
about?
the
talking
only way
about?
to self-preserve himself was to get on that ship and get away, and the only way to get that ship
No,
to get
he
away.
could've
You're
run
talking
away.
about two. We're talking
How?
about two separate Lokis. This is one Loki from Avengers, the very first Avengers, right?
Yeah.
In 2012, and then we have another, the one that actually escaped, and then you have the variant that doesn't escape. Right? These are two separate people.
Yeah, so in
right.
these-
So it shows both. One going the right direction and one going the opposite.
I
And
just,
to
find it incredibly hard to believe that the death of his mother, who he really loved, would
But
not.
he doesn't
Oh,
experience that.
But here's
Yes,
the
he
thing.
does.
No. In this new
Doesn't.
movie, you don't have a scene where he sits down and sees the other
I
Loki's
feel like
life.
that's just-
He
I-
never sits down.
No,
and
That's
you do
unfulfilling.
have that.
Then
but
that's
he doesn't
unfulfilling.
make the connect. What?
I feel like that's unfulfilling just to have him be evil the entire time.
I disagree
No,
because
no,
this has been. Wait, just to clarify, this is coming
more
from
up for more. This is a better Loki because it sets up more for the King Thor. Like that's amazing, right? King Thor looking down on his brother and saying, basically, I'm disappointed in you.
But he already has always been disappointed of him.
No.
This is a different Loki.
This is a different
Yeah,
Loki.
And he's
Loki
not
he knew.
disappointed in the original Loki.
The original
Yes,
Loki.
he is.
No,
No,
he's
he's
not.
not. He's redeemed.
That's the whole
That's
point
the
of their
whole point of the
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah, is that he's not
The whole point of the relationship is that he grows to trust and love Loki.
What is he? I want to.
And he mourns after Loki's death.
The elevator scene in Ragnarok where he's like, I don't care what you do anymore. I give up. Basically,
He doesn't say that.
yes, he does.
He
He
does.
does.
But
He's
he
like,
does. But-
I
but
literally every time I try to trust you or be your friend, you just backstab me. So I just don't care.
But then by
You
the
guys
end
go
of
do
That
your own
affects
thing.
that Loki,
But then
not
by-
the Loki we're talking
But
about.
to
These are two
clarify,
separate
by the end of Ragnarok, he does trust him. He's at his Hela is about to defeat him and kill all the refugees. And who comes to save the day?
Loki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to self-preserve
So that-
himself to get away on the ship.
No. Self-preserving himself would be to just
go
run
on the
away.
ship, yeah.
Let Thor and all the
What?
refugees
How else
die.
would he get away?
He just flies away. He is
On
a
a ship? What?
Why
They're
does
on
he
the
spend-
ship
Why
instead
does
of
he take
states.
time to save the refugees and save?
Yeah, he could have
Thor?
taken the ship
He
and
could just
gone away.
leave. That's what selfish Loki would have done. But the new Loki
You could be
that
wrong,
developed-
you know. Like it's okay. You don't have to.
You could also be wrong.
No.
But we're not. That's the difference.
Oh, my bad.
Let's
Yeah,
stop.
sorry.
We're gonna stop this argument now. Leave it like.
How much
leave a
further
comment.
do we have?
This is the end of phase 4. There's two
phases
more
left.
phases. Don't worry.
Okay, I feel like we should stop. soon.
No. This is fun.
Why
This
would
is
we
good.
stop?
Because Abby is sitting here and
Abby,
said
are you
we
enjoying
would do
this?
other stuff.
I'm going
Wait.
to see you with my sunglasses.
Abby,
It is almost 7 o'clock at night, guys.
Abby, how
It
are
is
you?
6:45.
Can you
Yeah.
shut up? Abby, how are you feeling?
I feel very on the spot right now.
Yeah. You're
I
on
just
camera.
feel like This is the one
Fine.
thing we had a lot
You
of
can
time. I didn't want to
leave.
take a whole lot of time to do this.
You can leave.
Wait,
What's
I
that
love
mean?
this. I love this. This has been great so
You need
far.
to leave.
So no, we're gonna leave this up to the viewing audience. What are your opinions? Do you like the idea of maintaining?
Why would we let the audience choose?
This is the whole point of this: is that I'm offering up an alternate version, and then we're gonna disagree on it. Some people are gonna like because this idea of Loki staying the same and becoming more evil is not my original idea. This is something that people who have complained about the Loki series said it didn't make any. It was a weird disconnect to them to have. It
The
made
2012
Loki
Loki,
turn into the Loki we had at the end of Infinity War
So good,
basically
so fast.
very quickly. And they're like, we would have loved to see 2012 Loki continue. And what does Loki's journey look like divorced from his relationship with Thor? So that's what I'm embracing. You're divorcing his relationship with Thor.
That he doesn't get Ragnarok.
But just to clarify, Brent disagrees with that.
World.
Brent disagrees with that. So we're leaving that to the audience. Did you think that the arc that Loki goes on in the Loki show is better than my pitched Loki version, where we're basically ending the Phase 4 on this moment of horror? It's a horrible moment that happens here. He who remains dies, the multiverse is unleashed, and Loki is back. Villain Loki is back.
Loki has freed Kang. What will happen next? Tune in to part 2 to hear the rest of Justin's Multiversal Saga.
That is our big movie that opens up the multiverse. So this first phase has set up the current world that all of the characters we know and love or have been introduced to are in. All right, and it finally opens up with the inciting incident of this arc, which is Loki opens up the multiverse by killing the one person, he who remains, who was holding it in place.
Okay.
All right, and as just to clarify, he who remains is wearing purple and green. We've seen
What?
that before.
Have we?
We've seen
Where?
that. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
In the Shrek after credits scene.
In the Shrek after credits scene.
Puss in Boots.
Maybe
He who remains stuck on his back.
Maybe
It's
he
Shrek
who
with a purple
remains.
scarf.
Maybe he who remains knew something that we didn't.
That he was Shrek.
Exactly.
The entire time.
The post-credit scene. The
Loki?
post-credit scene of the Loki movie, we see Doctor Strange and Wong immediately begin sensing that something
Unzips his
is
face.
wrong.
And it's
Something
Shrek.
something is wrong.
They sense it like the Force.
Basically. Well, because they're aware of dimensional planes upon the Earth, but they're realizing that something is bleeding in, something is happening, where all of a sudden they're not just aware of the dimensional plane, they are aware of the multiversal
Multiverse,
plane.
yeah.
And it's going to end with Doctor Strange getting a vision of Dark Doctor Strange from What If. But the live action version. Okay. We went through all the
And
TV
it's
shows
through
already.
his third eye that's on his
Will not be
forehead.
through his third eye. No third eye. There is no third eye. There's no Darkhold. That's the other thing with the WandaVision show. There is no Darkhold. Oh wait, I think I skipped over something with the WandaVision. The WandaVision.
You never
after-credits
said
scene.
how it... You said it just goes on how it was.
For the most part.
Never mind.
So is
maybe
Agatha
I wrote
thing?
Oh no, I wrote a different one. Okay, it follows the same thing, but instead, the difference with the WandaVision show is she, like I said, I think I said this when we were talking about it. She's more jaded. She's more of a villain.
Yeah, you
and there's no Darkhold.
Okay.
So it's very it's making it
It's
more
her.
clear that she is
In charge.
she is in charge of her own universe. She's not answering to anyone else. But there's no Darkhold in this version, and there's no Agatha. It's
Thank
all
the
her.
Lord.
She
So there's
is-
no Agatha something in chaos.
the
Agatha,
conflict,
yeah, you don't get
the
to work.
conflict of the movie is going to be between Sword and Wanda, and ultimately you have the new Marvel lady that I can't think of her name of all of a sudden.
What?
The
Maria Rambeau.
Maria Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau.
Basically,
Monica Rambeau,
Monica
yeah.
Rambeau talks Wanda off the cliff and gets her to accept her grief and shuts everything down. But it's still very clear that Wanda did something very wrong, and that needs to be established. Wanda did something that was wrong. And I think that's important just for the general vibe of Marvel. Superheroes can deal in
She
gray
needs to do
areas,
better.
but there's some moral, no matter what your worldview is, there are some moral things you can't justify. And enslaving an entire town and torturing them for weeks
is okay if your children.
But her robot boyfriend died.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't justify it, and the show tries to justify it.
No, I just justified it.
He's justified. Robot boyfriend.
Her robot boyfriend died.
You know what? You're right.
But he's a sentient robot.
Yeah.
What happens
He's
to Vision
partially
in this universe?
In this universe, you still have the same situation.
Wanda
White
is-
Vision is out there because
Gray
White
Vision?
Great, it's white.
It's Gray Vision, I thought.
It's White
In
Vision.
the comics, it's Gray Vision.
Oh, he's white in
The
the show.
point in the show, he's white because
He's
White
gray.
Vision is going to be a part of the Thunderbolts. So
In
we're
the
gonna-
show is
we're gonna
very
bring
white.
him back in. White Vision will come back into the Thunderbolts.
You
I know
really
he
trying
looks-
to prove that it's Gray Vision
I'm pretty sure it's Gray Vision.
in the show? He's very white.
I know what color he is. I'm just saying
Okay,
his name
fine.
is
So,
Gray
It's
Vision.
fine.
Phase
Sure.
5.
Vision.
Phase 5. Now, if you've noticed something, all of the multiversal movies that happened in Phase 4 haven't happened yet. Those are all going to come in Phase 5. So we've established the world. And
It's
now we're
Gray
kicking it off.
Vision. Get off my back.
What?
It's very. It's
That's
white in a dark
in-
setting.
That's dumb. He should be White
I'm
Vision.
going to have to put a picture up because it's White Vision in the TV show.
I understand
He said
in the
his
TV
name
show
Gray
it is
Vision.
white, but his name is Gray Vision.
That's
I'm not
stupid.
calling him Gray Vision
All right.
because of the color of his
Well,
costume.
okay,
I'm
okay.
calling him Gray Vision because his name is Gray Vision
I'm
in
not
the
calling
in the
you.
comics.
I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm calling the people who
You want me to
colored
call
him
you Gray
white.
Tazi?
Does that insinuate that we normally call him White Tazi?
And he has shades of both white and gray.
Okay,
well,
here
that's
we go.
it, that's it.
Whatever. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
But his name is
okay,
Gray Vision.
So this movie is going to pick up directly from the post-credit scene. Wong and Doctor Strange are basically dealing with the unfolding of the multiverse. The main villain of the movie is going to be Dark Doctor Strange. This will be a straight-up horror movie. All right, so it's going to be scary. This is going to be taking the we're playing with tone and trying new things.
I have a question. Was What If the same?
What If is basically the same, yeah.
So then you can't have the end where Dark Doctor Strange is a good guy.
Doctor Strange is going to help save the multiverse, but he's going to be bad still. Like he's basically he saves the multiverse from evil Ultron, but he's now going to use the knowledge of the multiverse that he is learning about for his own devious.
can also
Also, in the end of What
purposes.
If, he's put into like a
Yeah, and I'm
box.
saying he is no longer getting put into a box or anything.
You can
He's
just you can
escaping.
also just have a
The
second
ending of What
evil-
If is changing slightly to where evil Doctor Strange is out in the world, so that he can be one of the sort of sub main villains of Evil Doctor Strange is going to be a sub main villain of this multiversal saga. So evil Doctor Strange. They're dealing with the fallout of the death of He Who Remains and Evil Doctor. I don't know exactly what the story is. The whole point is that you have these characters. Those are the people you need to introduce.
And can the multiverses that they go through actually like have substantive differences instead of
my face is bleeding. Can
what? Oh,
you grab something from there?
he popped.
He's going through puberty.
Yeah.
turning red.
And yes, so you can. I don't know exactly what his
Instead of
motivation
free
is.
pizza balls,
Doctor
we can have, like,
Strange-
something that's actually
Doctor
different.
Strange, evil Doctor Strange was all about gaining power to save the woman he loved. Exactly. So this is the important thing. He and Wanda have very similar
They
desires.
get together.
No, they're not going to get together, but they will team up.
Wait, are we done with Phase 4?
Yeah.
Phase 4 is
In real
over.
life? 'Cause
Oh,
of-
in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah,
Like,
Ant-Man
Quantumania
is the last one.
Quantumania is the first
Of
one
five.
of Phase 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phase 5, okay.
So we do the whole movie. You're just establishing. You're seeing all these different universes. You can play around with them. You can introduce characters. You can have all this fun. The whole point is that you make it a horror romp through universes as Wong and Doctor Strange are trying to deal with evil Doctor Strange, thinking he's responsible for all of this. Obviously, he's not, and they're going to learn that by the end. Evil Doctor Strange escapes into Earth 616, our home universe, and he can no longer travel the multiverse anymore. That's the main ending of that, is that he's in Earth 616. The post-credit scene of this movie is evil Doctor Strange meets Wanda, basically is like, we can find a way together to travel the multiverse and get back to the people we love. And that'll set up later movies. So that's that. Here's the issue. Spider-Man No Way Home. Very good movie. I don't know. There's got to be I don't like the way that Doctor Strange is the one who ends up breaking the multiverse because of like a poor word choice. and then ultimately the spell that he uses at the end is a spell he could have used. And it's, let's put it this way: the movie itself on a character basis is really good, but the multiversal rules are a little wonky.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how to fix it, but I still think keep it.
You
small.
change it. That's how you
I know
fix
you
it.
change it, but I'm saying I don't know how to change it right now. So the movie is practically the same. You'll get Andrew, you'll get Toby, you'll get the arc that ends up leaving Spider-Man without anyone knowing who he is.
But MJ made
None of the Avengers know who he is.
I don't think Doctor Strange and Spider-Man get together at all.
Okay,
in that. I think
I
that's
don't know
fandom.
what the change is, but I'm just saying the basic beats are the same in terms of we see all of these Spider-Man villains, we see the other versions of Spider-Man. His arc is the same. Aunt May still dies, and it ends in him being in the same place where no one knows who he is. So those are
because the spell to make everybody not know who he is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Well, my other thought is that what breaks the multiverse is evil Doctor Strange. That Spider-Man basically makes a deal with the devil, and it's Shrek. He gets Shrek the Fourth.
Well, what if it's a consequential movie? Somebody else breaks it, and he's not involved at all, but he has to deal with the consequences of somebody else.
I thought about that. Here's the thing. I thought about that as an idea that when the multiverse breaks, there's like bleeding. That's the initial effect where the universes start bleeding together because they haven't quite differentiated each other yet.
Yeah.
The issue with that is that affects the entire world, and you'd have to implement that in every movie then, and not just the Spider-Man movie. So
you just solve it at the end with a spell.
But if you have the universal bleeding, the multiversal bleeding, whenever you get to a movie that, like, every person would experience multiversal bleeding, then it can't just be
Spider-Man?
sequestered. No. So if I'm trying to, I don't know the way to basically break the Spider-Verse so that all of the other Spider-Man people come in. Because the way it happens in the actual movie is a little wonky. I think there's a better way to do it, but I have to think about it to figure it out.
Yeah,
I haven't figured it out yet.
Think about it more.
So that's what I'm saying. It's the actual movie, the actual character arc, and where it leaves Spider-Man. Really good. I think you change that slight little plot element in a way. I just don't know how to do it so that it fits within the new universe we've created. But I don't exactly know how to do it. Okay, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Okay, this movie is sort of the same. Here's the thing. I'm not going to go into the story of it. I think the story of Quantumania, like, the whole movie was entertaining, but I think it...
For some.
But I think it missed some of the main things that make Ant-Man fun, which is it's generally pretty lighthearted, and the relationship between Cassie and Scott is
Peña's
cute
not in it.
and forefront. Michael Peña's not in the movie.
Which made me so
I
upset.
think you could make it much more interesting if... within the world, they're trying to, the entire crew is trying to, and Janet does not know who Kang is. She never met Kang in the little tiny world. Because at this point in our universe, the universe is just breaking in this point in the world. So they're trying to go into the small world. Because remember, at the end of Ant-Man 2, that's what they were trying to do, is go into the micro universe. Janet wasn't having problems. The quantum realm. And Janet wasn't having issues. So they're trying to do the same thing for some reason to help.
I forgot about
In
that.
the micro universe is everything micro.
But it's to alleviate the pain of the world.
The micro.
So they're all still heroes. None of them are like not trying to help.
Excuse
There's
me,
not this
Tazi?
there's not this arc of Scott being like, I've done enough to help everyone and don't really, I'm just gonna write my book and be popular. The entire family is working on the quantum technology to find a way to alleviate the suffering of the world that we've established in the first phase.
Yeah.
And what ends up
And
happening
she's
is
open about the things in the.
here's the thing. She's not met
Because she has no Kang to be.
Well, she doesn't know Kang, but she knows that there's a world inside of the realm, and that's the goal, to get there, to gain resources.
Yeah, they can
gain
pull
experience,
resources,
whatever.
make them big.
Her husband has been researching this forever, and yet she's just not going to give him information about it. Like, that's kind of effed
And
up.
can I pitch a new ending as well?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Because Kang isn't even that powerful anyway.
I'll let you finish. I'll let you
finish. That's the setup, is that in the world, Scott's pop. You don't have to have the Scott's popular thing, but they're trying to help the world through the quantum technology, and they get sucked
kind
in.
of like Wakanda with their resources, trying to gain.
And then they get sucked in unexpectedly. They don't know why they get sucked in. They get
it's
sucked
Kang.
in by Kang. And what we'll learn basically is that in some point after Janet blipped, so she got snapped. So sometime in that 5 years, the other Kangs of the multiverse banished this Kang to the quantum realm.
Yeah.
And during that time, he built his empire. During that time, he's trying to find a way to get out so that he can repair his chair and take back over the multiverse.
Would Scott have seen him then?
Would Scott have not seen him? No, because Scott in the quantum realm part that Scott in, he's just sort of floating in the ether.
That's the implied.
And he says he's only there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. It's the time.
5
bending.
minutes in the quantum
But you
realm.
just said that when Janet is blipped, Kang builds his kingdom.
Yeah,
So in
yeah,
5 minutes he
snapped.
builds his kingdom?
No. For Kang, it's longer than that.
Because they basically are the time rules within the
That's
quantum realm are
why
not
the rules
explained.
are messed up, right?
The time rules within the quantum realm are like they don't exist. It's in its own plane of existence almost. Because Janet is down there for 30 years, but Scott's only there for 5 minutes, and yet 5 years pass. So there's obviously something wonky. We don't.
Well,
need
the
to
thing is there's no rule for that time sphere, right? Because everybody's experience.
It's a pocket. It's basically a pocket universe within our own. It's similar to the dimensions. Like Dormammu exists in a dimension that is adjacent, but it's not a separate universe.
Yeah.
It is still part of our world. The quantum realm exists.
Or Asgard even.
Even Asgard, yeah. But the quantum realm exists in this pocket universe that acts differently. And because they've already pre-established that time works both normally for Janet and then didn't work normally for Scott, you can basically fudge it and just say, Kang has been here for enough time to build this empire, and we don't know for how long, but it was before Janet got there and Scott never met him. Does that make sense, Brent?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, so
It doesn't.
You can
'cause
make
the,
up
It
rules.
doesn't because the time
Exactly,
rules
it's-
aren't the same.
exactly.
Like, they're not set in stone.
if I had...
Which
if-
is an issue, I think, because now you can just do whatever you want. It's like, well,
And I
there's
don't
no
like
structure
that. It's
there.
just I can't in this universe. I can't go and remake the other two Ant-Man movies to fix it.
yeah, because they're in
Yeah.
the other phases besides
So
four.
where the story goes from there, I don't know. The only change is Kang doesn't die.
He wins
He
in the end.
wins.
He wins?
Fixes his chair and vanishes out of existence.
Yeah, because he doesn't care about Ant-Man.
He doesn't care about Earth 616. Who cares about Earth 616?
Yeah.
He wants every multiverse. He wants to prove that he's the best Kang above all the other.
And I think what would be the best is Hank Pym shows up with his ants and Kang kills him and all of his ants.
You want Hank Pym to die?
I think it would make sense for him
So
to die.
you really make it just.
and I
this
don't think
intense
we
ending.
recast
Yeah.
what's her face.
Yeah, and in fact, I think
Yeah,
you might
don't
even
recast her.
I think you might even
For
kill
stupid reasons.
You might even kill Ant-Man because
Nobody knows who she is anyway.
Oh, the
Sorry.
power doesn't work here.
you might even have to kill Ant-Man because
Well,
it would make
I
sense
think
that
Ant-Man dies in like I think everybody escapes by the skin
that's
of
what
their
I'm
teeth.
saying. Is you keep the same
Is the
arc
power?
where
Is it charging there?
No.
no, you keep the same arc where Cassie is like
Oh, it's because it's the light. Plug it back in. Well, flip the switch.
or not sorry, you don't keep the same arc. Ant-Man is still a hero. Like his whole duty is trying to save people. And then what
I haven't read much details to the rest. I'm going to be making up a lot of this.
So then the people that he tries to save the most are his family. So when they open this portal, Kang is like trying, and let's say Scott still has the core at the end. They'll get out. Kang moves in, not injured. MODOK hasn't like randomly turned on him for no reason. And maybe no,
Because he's not a dick.
I think
I just think head.
Scott, I do agree with that. I think you
Cut
cut.
MODOK.
I think you cut MODOK because MODOK could be a villain in his own thing.
And
Like
yeah,
AIM and MODOK are a major part. Are a very complex organization that you could make the main villain of something.
If anything,
so don't waste
MODOK escapes with everybody else.
yeah. So the better,
And now he's in
but-
the real world.
Yeah, but a better ending is they're all getting out. Scott still has the core. Kang closes the portal before he can get out and kills Ant-Man and takes the core.
Yeah.
And only Cassie,
Or just
Hope, and
leaves
Jill.
him to die.
I'll
Yeah.
leave this. So
But only Hope, Cassie, and Janet escape.
Within this-
and Hank Pym has died previously, and Scott dies or is left to die.
within this our fake universe, I'll leave it to the writer to decide because Ant-Man doesn't
We just
play.
did.
Ant-Man doesn't play a
Josiah
major role.
is the writer.
I'm writing Quantumania.
Ant-Man and all of their tech is not important for the rest of the journey. They're not going to be central to the plot anymore. If they're there, they'll be ancillary characters in the Avengers movies and such.
Yeah.
This is going to be like the final hurrah for these characters. So I want it to very much concentrate on the relationship.
They're trying to establish Cassie too.
Because he's an ant.
Possibly, but it's more. If anything, Cassie would be in like a Young Avengers. But
That's what I mean.
But
In
that's
this
universe.
Phase 7.
That's a
That's
phase
Phase 7
That would be
movie.
something in the future that's not going to be in this
really?
phase. Yeah. But more importantly, all that matters is make this movie about Scott, Hope, and Cassie and their relationship. I think that's the issue with the Janet issue. Janet in the movie distracted way too much from Hope as a character.
Yeah.
And the movie's
Hope
called
didn't
Ant-Man
do
and the Wasp.
anything in the
Exactly.
So that's my point. So you make the movie about the relationship between Scott, Hope, and
maybe
Cassie,
Hope's in the Avengers.
and then the ending is and then
That's what I
all-
think. She survives, but Scott. And
I think
Hank
Scott
die.
should die and Hope becomes like
then
joins
she's
is part of the
trained
Avengers.
Do you like that? All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Okay,
it.
next.
So
And she-
Scott Lang dies.
So does
at the
Hank
end of
Pym. Hank Pym
Quantumania.
dies too.
So
I
this
don't
is-
think we see him die.
Well,
I think
I feel like that's a good thing
No,
because
no.
then that establishes the power of Kang. Is like, oh, this really cool, fun-loving character
Yeah, but-
is suddenly knocked down a peg and is like, oh yeah, this isn't a funny movie anymore. This
This
guy's
is a
dying.
serious movie.
He's
But
dead
my-
now.
I like that, but my point is him being left to die is to show the relevance of Ant-Man to Kang and them, right?
He's not
What is he
relevant
doesn't
enough for
care to stay to watch him die. He
Yes.
just
No,
leaves
he just
him
like
to die.
but he still
he still
show
dies.
him die.
I'm just saying he.
But Kang leaves
the
him.
moment he gets his
emphasizing,
core.
you're emphasizing a character moment for Kang. That Kang still kills Ant-Man, but he's like the Bond villain who doesn't even care. Like he's like, you could survive. I don't care.
Because it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah,
It
what we're
doesn't
just
matter.
saying is for the audience to know that Kang is a real threat. Kind
Sure.
of like the Thanos at the beginning of.
He is a real threat. But I mean, the thing is like,
Okay.
like
Let Brent finish his thought.
I was gonna say it's like the Thanos moment at the beginning of Infinity War where he kills all the Asgardians and Loki
And beats up Hulk.
and beats up Hulk. Where you're like, oh, this guy's actually, especially right after Ragnarok, where everything was like, oh yeah, happy, funny.
Yeah.
Like there were some serious moments, but it's all like still like pretty fun,
But
lighthearted.
they're OP.
And then they
Yeah.
die.
and everybody.
Yeah.
Like these people who like Thor, who was just super powerful, is just by the underling of Thanos, is like just like be quiet, go away. And then Hulk, who is the mightiest, the strongest
Well-
Avenger, gets just like slapped around by
The
Thanos.
thing is I don't think him killing Ant-Man shows that he's that much more powerful.
But
but I think it raises the stakes that you know that people who have been established will die.
So that's what it does.
and that's fine.
Because
but I'm
Kang's
just
biggest
saying,
Kang's just to clarify, Kang is going to have that sort of Thanos moment, but it's not coming yet. So I let Brent.
Well, but I think
Yeah,
that the
I'm
Ant-Man
saying
one
to
should
you.
be in like he doesn't fight him even. He just is like dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a precursor that sets the stakes of who Kang is and what he means to the characters that we love. His power level is going to get established in a later point where
Yeah.
he's going to defeat all the other Kangs. He's going to become the He Who Remains that isn't benevolent. He's the He Who Remains who's so narcissistic he wants to rule everything.
So are you gonna have like Kang is established in this one and every other movie? You have another Kang, but at the end of the movie, Kang the Conqueror comes in and kills that Kang.
Not quite. There will no, that won't happen. No,
God, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I think you
but
should make a movie called
You're basically
The Kang
gonna.
of Kangs.
You're basically gonna.
Kang of Kangs.
You're basically.
And
Brent-
Lord of Lords.
and he goes and he kills all the Kangs.
So to clarify,
and that's
Brent,
the whole movie.
to
Just
clarify,
him going around
Brent,
killing
you'll
everybody.
basically
What Gore should
use
have done.
the after credit scene to tell the story of him defeating all the other Kangs. So use an after credit scene to establish
Well, that's why I
the
think you
Council
should
of
have-
Kangs.
you should
You'll use
have-
an after credit scene to establish him facing them and killing them.
I feel like you should have a different Kang as a villain of every movie, or at least Kang is somehow involved with each of the villains of the movies. And then in the after credit scene, Kang comes in and kills that Kang.
Well, let me finish talking
That's a thought.
through
Let's keep
because
going.
I'm going to start talking through because a lot of these movies they won't
you want what?
clarify
I
what.
wanted to clarify I think he doesn't kill him specifically. Like he doesn't just like one off and like stabs him and he dies right then. I think he should have a dramatic death because we love and care for him. But I think the moment that Kang gets his energy ball of thing,
He leaves.
then he leaves. He's
And
gone.
so Brent, so just to clarify, you guys are
We're saying the same thing. I just want to clarify that I think he should die off screen, but just be left for dead.
Yeah.
Because if he dies on, I mean,
So Brent, that's what
I
Brent's
don't
saying.
think
Is
he should
Brent's saying
die
he's
off screen.
defeated.
Yeah,
well,
that's what I
he'll
mean.
die. But Brent's not saying like Kang just like slices his head off. He's saying he defeats him quickly because he's that much more
I
powerful
was saying,
than
well,
him,
maybe
right?
not slices his head off, but he just like
Does
Sky's
something.
like, I'm gonna fight you, and you're like, he's like, and just like, no.
He punches him once.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
because Kang's just like, I've killed you so many times. I'm just like,
Also,
all right,
you
you're dead.
have to see Ant-Man die. Like, you can still have that moment if Kang doesn't care and leaves before he sees him die. You still have to see Ant-Man die, like, alone. I think that would be the most powerful
'cause
thing.
he's alone.
The entirety of Ant-Man is about family. That's a major theme, about mixed family, about found family, about how the different ways you can see family.
Yeah.
And his relationship with his daughter and then his daughter's stepmom, and you make that the central moment, and then ending with Scott dying alone.
Yeah.
That is, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And it makes your emotional connection
Because that makes
to
it
Kang.
more impactful, I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
That makes it more impactful to say that this guy is actually a threat than just to kill him, just to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now he's taken everything from him. He's everything he cares about, which is family, and now he's dying alone
Yeah.
in the quantum realm
for nothing.
for nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be there. Kang could have just
Well, he did need him there.
stayed there.
Kang needed him there.
Kang needed him there,
And so he's
and so
dying.
he got everything
Yeah.
from him, and then
Yeah.
he just dipped.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care.
All right, next
Okay,
movie.
so the next movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is a goodbye to these characters. We already know that for
It's already
most
gonna
of the
happen.
actors,
It's gonna be so sad.
we already know for most of the actors that this is their last movie. The Guardians are gone. Like, this will be the last Guardians movie. We may see some of the actors, but at this point, Chris Pratt's probably done. Dave Bautista's probably done.
Dave Bautista
And
is
Dave
done.
Bautista is done. You're
gotta
probably
do
they're
weird
gonna
horror
kill. They're
movies.
probably gonna kill Rocket. So that means that like
You got like Mantis, Gamora,
And
and Nebula.
So this movie, James Gunn gets to do it, but it's a goodbye to these characters. And also, we have so many characters at this point. You're gonna have to end some of the legacy characters to make way for some of the new ones. This is a way to satisfyingly do it in an awesome, emotional way and say goodbye to them for good.
Kind of like
Okay.
I did with the faux hog guy.
The Marvels. This movie.
I'm so sad.
This movie.
and Yondu. Yeah.
The Marvels, I don't know what to do with this movie. My thought is, this movie is an enigma to me. I think you need it because you need to have
Hold on, to clarify,
Carol Danvers
do
in the
they
universe.
die, the Guardians,
Who?
or do they just get sent off?
Some of them will die. I think Rocket will die. I'm guessing because James Gunn gets to write this movie. I don't know. I'm Kevin Feige. I gave James Gunn
I'm
free
saying if
will
you
to do what he
you were to
wanted.
write
No, you're
this movie-
22-year-old
If I were to write
Justin
this
Lawrence.
movie, if I were to write this movie, you probably have like Rocket and Star-Lord die, and then the other people all go their separate ways.
I think they don't go their separate ways. They just go to fight. They just deal with blip stuff.
Yeah,
That's what they end up
you,
doing.
You put them off in the corner, and they're doing their own thing in the universe.
Yeah.
But it's an explanation that means they're not going to impact everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then the Marvels. I don't know what you do with this movie. I think you need Captain Marvel as a character from a plot standpoint because she's one of the few people that has knowledge of the universe and the power to fight someone like Kang. And so you need her character. I think I love Miss Marvel as a character, but I just don't know how you take Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, and
Monica Rambeau.
and what you do with them in a way
You
that
put them
impacts
in
the
a
world.
battle that they win because they're women.
So this will be another
I'll handle it.
But this is basically it's another cosmic.
No, I'll
it's-
handle it. No, I said I will handle it.
they all start
And
fighting
then
over
Captain
this
Marvel
idea.
comes up with her stretchy arms and just grabs it and says, "No,
The-
I'll handle it."
And we have
With
to
my
make sure in
Converse.
all of these battle scenes that we have knowledge to where these characters are on the battle scene so they don't just pop up in some random spot collectively.
we get them all
to
six
be
of the female
females.
characters.
Yeah. So this is going to be one of those movies in the phase that you don't necessarily
We don't
need.
care about.
I think you need it in the phase because you need to maintain the continuity of having Captain Marvel. But it's mostly gonna be like Guardians 3. You leave it up to the writers to do something awesome with it.
I
It's-
think we're gonna watch this movie and realize that we don't actually need her in the next coming movies.
Okay,
And
so let's skip over
Then after we have watched this movie, there's like other movies.
if I
in
had
Phase
more
4,
time to prepare, I
So we're
probably
gonna
would.
make
in
it
other
first,
Phase
and then
4,
we're
I'm
gonna-
just saying, if we had watched this movie after this, right, we would be like, oh, we don't really need this movie at all.
Okay, so we're gonna make the movie, but then we're gonna. Okay.
Can you plug in your iPad?
I didn't know what to do with the Marvels, but Brent's idea about introducing Kang variants in these movies is a great idea. Because at this point in our universe, only 2 characters can travel the multiverse. Doctor Strange and Kang. We aren't going to use Doctor Strange to conquer the universe. Doctor Strange is protecting Earth 616 from the impeding doom of all of the multiverse being
as well, but
is
America not a character
America's
anymore?
not a character in this version, in this universe, because it was just distracting. Like, the movie's a Doctor Strange movie. Make the movie about Doctor Strange. If you're going to make America a character, don't make her a plot device. Because that's all she was in that movie. She was just a plot device.
Yeah. I don't even remember any of her scenes, to be completely
I remember the scene where she touches a flower and her parents die, but that's about it.
Look at there. So in the Marvels, we're now dealing with...
You're doing a good job.
We're invited back on.
We're in Thor: Love and Thunder. We were seeing the fallout of the blip being dealt with on a cosmic level. This time we're seeing the fallout of the multiverse opening up on a cosmic
New
level.
Vegas.
We're seeing a new version of Kang coming into this universe to conquer it. This will be a version of Kang. This will be one of those versions of Kang that his goal is just to conquer worlds. Yeah, so he's got a giant fleet. He's got a giant army. And this can be an interesting movie.
It's gonna be gargantuan?
No, this is my thought.
It's ginormous? So why does it be giant? Can it be ginormous or gargantuan?
Is it ginormous? Marvels.
Oh, you mean
oh
like
my gosh, let me
size
finish.
Fine.
You introduce this Kang variant as the villain
You need to finish.
of the movie. You've got the three Marvel characters, and you have the Nova Corps as their army behind them. So the rebuilt Nova Corps and their Nova soldiers. Okay, the Nova is a big character.
Okay.
There we go. It's a big action movie. It's explosions and everything. But the main thing it does, post-credit scene,
Kang kills Kang.
Kang from Quantumania kill this version of Kang. So this movie is going to end with Conqueror Kang, with Planet Conqueror Kang being defeated by the Marvels and escaping, and he ultimately gets killed in the post-credit scene by Kang the
Make
Conqueror.
this like a band of brothers, very serious and.
Oh, it's like a war movie. No, actually, it's a great idea. You
What,
make
the
it like,
Marvels?
You make the Marvels like a war movie.
Yeah.
Because then you can deal with the innocence of Miss Marvel, like coming to terms with the reality of being a superhero. It's not just a fun.
How
like
does
fun,
Miss
big
Marvel
action comedy.
and Rambo get to?
they don't explain it in the
Marvel?
actual show. They just teleport them. Maybe she comes and picks them up.
Maybe there's writers who do stuff.
She goes in Miss
"Your name
Marvel.
is
They
Marvel.
just teleport
Come with
her.
me."
My name is Marvel.
I love it in the Marvels when they said, "We are the Marvels."
Well, it could be something where
This truly is the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Listen, this is what it could be. Captain Marvel returns to Earth to basically ask for help from the Avengers, but the Earth is so chaotic due to everything that's going on between Wakanda, the governmental organization, Captain America. Monica is basically the only person who's like, I'm going to help you.
I just want to leave Earth.
She's like, I'm going to help you.
Captain
And Miss Marvel is basically stows away.
I think we're spending
She's a stowaway.
too much time on this
But
movie that serves
we're
one
finished this.
purpose.
Okay, we finished. The
How
purpose
many
is
more
done.
phases do we have?
We're almost done.
We were just talking about the style.
Captain America.
Can everybody relax?
Captain America: New World
All
Order.
right,
Okay.
chill, Bill.
Captain America: New World Order.
Okay.
It's just we're dealing with the fallout of first Captain America. It's a spy movie. Captain America is trying to dismantle the evil
Captain America
governmental
just a spy movie
organization.
from now on?
Yes,
No, Black Widow was the
basically.
last spy movie.
No.
I'm saying are all Captain America
yeah,
The
yeah,
first
just spy movies now?
basically.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause- yeah, anyway, this is another spy movie. We're gonna see spy stuff. We're gonna see him trying to dismantle the evil government. But the point is that Captain America is distracted by what's going on Earth. Okay, and is distracted in general for, well, maybe a secret invasion later. Okay, so
I thought you were about to say like
That was so nerdy.
But that's basically the post-credit scene. That's the post-credit scene.
secret invasion.
The post-credit scene teases the post-credit scene.
Of what?
The post-credit scene teases Secret Invasion. The post-credit scene teases Secret Invasion and sets up that the Thunderbolts are going to be the response to basically Captain America's
The Thunderbolts were Kree the entire time.
It's very difficult to train Maya.
crazy.
After a certain time of training Maya, she completely disregards anything I'm saying. That's kind of the same thing that's happening now.
Good. So Captain America New World Order, Captain America versus the evil governmental organization. Captain America does some stuff to hurt them, but doesn't defeat them, and this leads way to the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts
Captain America
in this
hurts
movie.
the evil organization.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
this leads to basically the activating of the Thunderbolts. That we're now going to approve the Thunderbolts to start being a team
Who's
to
the
fight
next
people.
movie?
And then we also tease in the post-credit scene Secret Invasion. Don't know how, but we'll see the bad
do it,
Skrull.
okay.
And we think the good Skrull because we've seen good Skrull, but it's the bad. It's
Is
going to be the
Secret
bad
Invasion
Skrull.
part of the multiverse saga?
No. Yes,
Oh.
it's part of the Multiverse saga.
How?
It's in the Multiverse saga. It's going to be one of the TV shows on Marvel.
I'm just curious as how
We're gonna figure it out. That's how.
I'm showing you how.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Secret Invasion should have been its own saga, the whole story.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it should.
But it's not.
It's not going
in
to
this
be, so.
universe. It's going to be just an Avengers.
Well, no,
movie.
it should have. In
But I'm saying we should
Okay.
take it out of our thing.
So now
It
we're
shouldn't
going to
be
do.
part of
I
it.
think I wrote Thunderbolts as a movie here. Thunderbolts is a TV show.
one of his rules is using the same.
No, it should be.
It should be a movie. It should be Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
James
so
he's
Gunn.
got rid of
Thunderbolts
some
is a
of them.
Suicide Squad type movie.
He got rid of
Well,
Eternals.
you can get rid of it, but you
so
can't.
get rid of Secret Invasion.
I guess you could.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of Secret Invasion. So
But I feel like it doesn't add anything. It's just a side quest.
I'll tell you now because everything
I'll tell you now.
everything that I've built up to this point about the universe, everything that I've built up to about the universe so far is
Kang
leading to
is a
Secret
Skrull.
Invasion. But a lot of it has been leading to
Don't tell me you're saying
Secret
Kang is a
Invasion.
Skrull.
Kang is not a Skrull. Let me finish.
Okay, let's go.
The Thunderbolts movie. It's going to be a Suicide Squad
They're all
style
Skrull.
squad movie. It's a fun little romp. You get introduced to this new team of heroes. It's a morally
All of
great
them
movie.
die.
You're getting introduced to some morally gray aspects of the Marvel universe. Something we haven't really been introduced
Morally
to.
gray. Can you explain that for the audience?
Are you serious?
Morally
Gray
gray
Jedi.
means people are making
Qui-Gon
decisions
Jinn.
that two people are in conflict with each other, but you can't say who is right. Watch Arcane if you want to know good
Game of
representation.
Pirates of the
Now that
Caribbean.
that's done,
Yeah.
just because
It's like not more of a joke, but I guess it
I
kind of.
heard
just
it.
because you understand what that means doesn't mean the audience does.
I just try to treat them like they're not idiots.
Morally gray is a pretty easy, simple.
Yeah,
term
I
to
didn't
understand.
say like transinstantiationism.
Transubstantiation.
Transgender.
Which for those who don't know,
It's a way different topic.
Catholicism. All right.
So again, Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts.
Don't need to get any more into
Thunderbolts is one of those small movies within the phase. It's not doing something big. It's supposed to be a fun small movie that basically adds to this idea that the Earth is in complete chaos
Okay,
at this moment.
great. Next.
Then the Blade movie. Blade is just awesome.
is Kit Harington in it?
Kit Harington can be
No,
in the
because
movie.
Eternals wasn't a thing.
No,
we
but
can
Kit
introduce
Harington
him
can just be in the
in the
movie. He can be introduced in this movie.
Cool.
Okay, but what's the point of
Blade is just another fun romp movie.
Okay, but I feel like at this point
it's
you
an
should not
Ant-Man.
be introducing new characters.
You don't think we should be introducing new characters? I
At that
disagree.
point?
We introduced the Guardians of the Galaxy in phase
Pretty
2.
late. Yeah.
We introduced Ant-Man at the end of phase 2.
I guess this is
So
phase
this
two, but
is-
in that point, phase 2 was
The reason
was-
these two movies are coming out, the Thunderbolts
the
and
sixth
Blade,
movie in or
is
something
because
like
we're
that.
basically putting in two movies that give you a sense of the world that the characters exist in, but the stakes are much lower. Because the stakes so far in this phase have been Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, huge stakes. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, massive emotional
time
bomb.
out,
The
time out.
Marvels, huge stakes. Captain America: New World Order, huge stakes. So now
Wait.
you've got two smaller movies, Thunderbolts and Blade, smaller stakes, smaller characters.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Do you think that Blade will have a large role in the Kang Dynasty or whatever your final movie is? Final couple movies are.
He will have not in the Kang Dynasty. He'll have a
he'll
major
be
role
destroyed.
He'll have a major role in in what's it called the final.
Invasion?
No. In the last Secret Wars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll be a major.
Because
role
Guardians
in
of the
Secret
Galaxy
Wars.
was they introduced one of the Infinity Stones, and also Gamora's dad is Thanos. And then what's the other?
I
one?
just
Marvel,
explained why I'm doing
Ant-Man
this.
1.
I just explained why I'm doing this. You have 4 movies that are all huge in terms of what they mean to the universe, and then we're going to end this phase with an Avengers movie. So I'm saying these two movies are like palate cleansers.
Yeah,
You're getting a sense of the world still, that the chaos of the world that all of our people live in, but it's all going to lead up to Avengers Secret Invasion.
Okay, great.
Okay, you're also during this time you'll get What If Season 2.
Hold on, can Blade not be Marvelized and be kind of the same
He's just going to be
theme
regular
as
old
the
Blade.
original
Yeah,
Blade?
all of this phase is we're letting
Wesley Snipes.
people letting people experiment with style and tone more.
Because this one
so.
should be super, super dark.
Yeah.
Like cool.
So
Yeah.
we'll also get What If Season 2 in this one. It'll just be another fun one. There won't be anything major established. It's just explore the multiverse, have fun. Cutting Ironheart. We don't need Ironheart as a TV show.
Or as a character.
Or as a character within this universe. We're covering Agatha, Coven of Chaos, because Agatha isn't a character anymore. And then we
And
are
the show
getting...
is probably going to be bad.
And we are getting Daredevil Born Again, but it's gonna not going to be a movie. It's going to be a TV show. So Daredevil Born Again is just going to be a TV show.
It already was a TV show.
No,
Isn't it? Oh, okay.
Daredevil
It's gonna
Born
be a TV
Again. Isn't it going to be a movie?
Regardless
No, it's a TV show.
Oh, either
Jamie,
way,
can we pull that up?
regardless, we still keep it. Regardless of what it will be in our reality, in the universe where I am the producer of
Rule
and the head of
34.
Marvel,
Jamie, can we pull
it's
that
still
up?
a TV show.
You get the Rule 34 again.
Jimmy, can we pull the Rule 34 back up?
Okay, a lot of those, and then we're ending
are
this
water
phase with
symbols.
Avengers Secret Invasion. This is the culmination of everything that's been going on within the world. So the world is in complete chaos and conflict. It has been not just because of the blip, because Skrulls have been secret invading the entire time, causing conflicts. You'll have like the leader of the federal evil place is
There's a scroll.
he's a Skrull. All right,
Nick Fury's a
You're
Skrull.
gonna have Nick. Well, Nick,
Okay.
Nick Fury's not a Skrull in this.
Can I
version.
say I already have a huge problem with this?
What?
Because I feel like that is a very big thing that feels like a conclusion to something. And then you have Kang.
You have two. You're,
I
think you take
It felt like
Skrulls
you were.
out.
It felt like you were
Completely.
building up towards Kang, and then all of a sudden
Can
you're
I
like,
tell you
"Oh,
why?
but it's your Skrulls."
No, it's not.
Skrulls
Oh,
are the
by the
problem
way,
for
it's
the
not.
role.
Oh, by the way, here are Skrulls.
No, you're like Skrulls are the reason that everything is wrong right now. But you've been building towards
Well,
Kang.
Okay,
like
and
Skrulls
I've been building
both.
both. I've been
But
building
Skrulls
both.
weren't hinted at.
Yes, they are. The Skrulls are getting hinted at throughout everything that's going
But you
on, like
never said
Falcon
that.
and Winter Soldier. All of the chaos that is going on in the world.
But that's not hinting at Skrulls. That's not showing people.
the
like,
whole point of
being
Secret
Skrulls.
Invasion is
Is
that
to
it's
reveal
to
that-
reveal that is to recontextualize everything we know about
But
the
it feels
chaos
like
of the world.
that is the
and
climax
why
and
it is,
not
and I'm
Kang.
telling you why it's not the climax.
But
The
I'm saying it
and
does.
I'm telling you why. You keep saying it feels like that, but let me say why. The reason it is not the climax is because what the characters are going to realize by the end of this is that they have been so distracted by their interpersonal conflicts on Earth and dealing with the Skrull and all of this stuff. Kang has been able to go around and gather all of this power for himself.
this is very much a
They've-
White Walker type thing where
Yeah,
So-
they've been,
so
and
are
they've
the
been
Skrulls
fighting
working
each
for
other.
Kang?
No, they're not. The whole point is that they're all like in the same
They're
way in Game of
distraction.
Thrones. In Game of Thrones, they're all fighting each other for power while ignoring the main power, by ignoring the main threat, which is
the
Kang.
White Walker. Yeah, and the White Walkers are Kang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but the White Walkers were a thing throughout the entirety of.
And the
Game of
Skrulls
Thrones.
have already
The
been.
Skrulls
The Skrulls
were
have
not-
already
The
been
Skrulls are established at
introduced.
the end of Far From Home. They are introduced. We can hint at them. Maybe we can show Talos a few more times throughout.
The whole point is that everything that I'm setting up in terms of the
But in
chaos
that
of
case,
the
they're
world
good.
is building up
They're not
to
evil.
Secret Invasion.
But
No.
and
In
Captain Marvel.
literally in Captain Marvel, he says we are one sect, and there are
Yeah.
other sects of Skrull that are they're evil.
and so
that aren't
Talos
good.
can mention that in the like 2 or 3 times.
and he'll be in the Marvels. The
Yeah.
Marvels is going to have is going to have Talos and Nick Fury. So I'm saying that even within the Avengers show, the Secret Invasion is the mid-season finale that sets up the fact that they were so distracted by dealing with the Skrull that Galactus was able to come in and
Kang.
almost destroy. No,
what?
in the
Oh,
second
sorry,
season
sorry.
of the Avengers TV show,
Avengers
Secret
Assemble, yeah.
Invasion happens out of nowhere, halfway through. Actually, not out of nowhere. They set it up
Yeah.
in the first episode, but it
Galactus
happens
rolls up, yeah.
and it leads way for Galactus to be
Okay.
the main villain and the big Avengers level threat.
I get it.
Brent
Okay.
hates this idea. Tazi, what do you think? Because Brent thinks that I'm dumb and
About
hates
the
it.
Skrulls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says that I haven't set up the Skrulls in any way, that it feels like it should be the climax of a phase, not not just an Avengers movie.
Well, I think if you hint at the Skrulls throughout the whole phase, then it would
That's what I'm saying, is have, like, Talos show up a few times and reiterate what he says in Captain Marvel, that there are evil Skrull as well.
Yeah.
So then you kind of get it in their head that there are more people out there, and then you finally reveal that,
Yeah.
you know.
Like, if it were me, I would just take the Skrulls out completely. Because then it
I would as well, because that'd be like an Infinity War. Say in the Infinity War. Say in Infinity War.
But you're kind
it was
of
a bunch of
screwed.
Skrulls, and then in Endgame, Thanos comes.
I think it would be more like if you did that in Age of Ultron
That's what I'm saying.
Because we still have
That's
whole
the
other
comparison.
things before we get to the Kang Dynasty.
That's the comparison right now. This is the Age of Ultron of this phase.
And Ultron is a world-ending threat, and so I don't really understand actually your point about why didn't we we don't hint at Ultron. Also, we don't even Winter Soldier is a very similar type of. You pointed out earlier, Winter Soldier and this whole thing seem similar. They have similar aspects, but Winter Soldier is never established before the movie that S.H.I.E.L.D. is run by Hydra. Like, that's completely out of the blue when it happens in Winter Soldier. So why can't it happen out of the blue in Secret Invasion, and we're not even having it happen out of the blue?
It can. I just don't like the Skrull.
The Skrull being the reason that everything is going wrong.
They're not the only reason that everything is going wrong. I'm saying that they are within the government causing some of the problems, but there is still the conflict is still there. Interpersonal conflict is still there. It's just the Skrull are using the conflict to their advantage. So they are accelerating the conflict that already exists due to the blip.
I just have never personally liked the Skrulls in general.
Well, that's
I'm just saying it's a personal issue.
Yeah. I think you have to do Secret Invasion at some time. The reason I wouldn't use it as the ending of a saga is because it's an Earth-centric. It's an only on Earth versus Thanos is Thanos is a galaxy-wide thing. Like you were saying, it's
Ultron
one-to-one to Ultron. It's one-to-one to Ultron. That Ultron is an Earth-ending threat, so he's an Avengers movie. And this movie is the same thing. It's an Earth-ending threat that everyone needs to come together who's on Earth to fight against.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Well, I'm trying to say to Brent.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that this is after Phase 4.
Yeah.
We only have control of Phase 4 and on, and Skrulls have already been established.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can't just kind of leave those threads dangling.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the tying up of all the Skrull threads. So Brent doesn't like the Skrulls.
But
it's okay. No, but this is good. This is good. This is the whole point.
All right.
Next. There's no way to make a perfect Marvel universe.
The whole point is that some people are wrong and some people are right.
And we're right.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it.
The whole point is Brent is spacing out and he doesn't want to be here anymore because he's tired and now he wants to go home as well.
Right? Are you okay?
Thank you for the chicken nuggies.
Okay.
Also, let me ask.
While we
Brent
bring up
quickly.
the chicken nuggies, we need to take a moment for us.
Cardi B.
Let me ask. So, just to clarify,
I
so
don't want to
Brent,
talk about Skrull anymore.
the
I don't
end of
care.
no, I'm not going to talk about the Skrull. At the end of Phase 5, there needs to be an Avengers movie. What would you do for an Avengers movie based on everything that's already been set up?
I don't know, just some random.
That's not a good start. If it were me, I would do it.
Okay, wait. Let me pitch Avengers. What is this? 5?
I would set up.
I feel like it should be
Puss in
someone.
Boots.
I would set up.
I feel like it should be something to do with Kang because I feel
I
like
have an idea.
There was an idea.
He doesn't have one. He's coming up
because
with
in Age of Ultron they got the stone out of the staff.
Yeah.
All of these things had to do with stuff to do with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
You should have something to lead up to Kang. I feel like the Skrull
Either
don't
Kang
lead up
or
to
the
Kang.
timeline.
Well, you just don't like my reasoning. They are so distracted by what is going on their small planet. They've missed what's going on in the multiverse.
No, that's a. We've done the Kang stuff. Oh look, also Kang's there at the end of the movie. Like
I
a
think
teaser.
it should be.
It's like in a serialized show. You have your regular episode, and then at the end of the episode, you get your 5 minutes of season through line.
Yeah.
I think it should be.
That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, I've
Whereas,
said
like, the
and so
Infinity
far,
Stone
all
is
Put in the
Phase
comments
4
if you
set
want to
up.
know what I think it should
The
be.
Infinity Stone is a major plot point, as well as Vision,
I
who
wanna
is a
know what
major
you-
plot point of
Thanks for
the Infinity Saga.
What if we just had a podcast?
Whereas the Skrull are like, oh, the Skrull are a thing. And then also Kang happened at the end of the movie.
In that case, you'll never be able to use the Skrull. Like,
Can I
ever.
Can Tazi freaking give his pitch?
I have
Yes,
an
Tazi.
idea, and I think it's a good one. But I'm
Of course you
biased.
do, because you said it.
I haven't
Thought
said
of
it
it.
yet because you've been interrupting me. You have King the Conqueror, right? That's an Avengers movie. King the Conqueror comes to Earth to conquer Earth, right? And the Avengers now try and win that battle, but they can't. And so King, as the king that should be, whatever king that lives,
Do
Which
what they
is
should
this
have done
the
with
Quantumania King?
Thanos.
yeah, the Quantumanian king.
Do what they should have done with Thanos, where they do an Avengers movie where they fight Kang and Kang wins, and then they have a phase where Kang is in charge, and then at the next Avenger movies, they have to figure out how to actually.
Which is kind of what they did between.
No.
Infinity War and,
King
Endgame,
instead of
They
so
had
is King.
one movie.
Hold on,
They
let
had
me clarify
Ant-Man
something
and then Captain
that I
Marvel.
might be missing the threads
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Is King the Conqueror the same King in King Quantum?
But you didn't
Yeah,
like
so when I
live
say Kang the
in
Conqueror,
the
I'm talking about
Kang
Kang Quantumania.
Damn it.
Space Kang is the Marvel's
Another
Kang.
King tries to take the Earth, right? And then
Okay.
King the Conqueror comes after that King.
So this will be
What if,
the
like, he-
second Kang to invade their universe.
What if we think like He Who Remains is trying to do what the original He Who Remains does?
He Who Remains is dead?
No, but then a new variant of him would exist.
Oh.
So then another He Who Remains comes in. He's trying to prune all of the branches.
Because that's another
And
thing
so
he says
then-
in Loki, but I mean, I guess you got rid of this. In Loki, he also says, if you kill me, like, you can take over and be it. But if
We're
you,
gonna get back to
if
this
you kill
point.
me, you got to be in charge. If you don't be in charge and just let the timeline go, another version of me is going to do what I did.
it's just going to get to the same exact point where there's only one timeline.
Because it's
to
the
determine.
loop thing.
And my idea is you have that King fight the Avengers, right? And
Yeah, so
beat
it's-
all of the
so he-
Avengers.
He Who Remains
and then
comes in and beats them, yeah.
No, and then
Why
King comes in. King the Conqueror comes and kills
He
the
Who
King
Remains is the guy who defeats
that just
all the
beat all
That's
the
what I'm
Avengers.
saying, yeah. So He Who Remains comes in, defeats all of them, and then Kang defeats He Who Remains.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yes.
yeah. Because now you've established that this king is way more superior than any other king out there, right? The King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Right, he's more powerful than the guy who just destroyed all of the just wiped out the Avengers.
And then that
basically.
means you can have
I mean, at
different
least-
style of movies, like the Red Dawn kind of movies, or like some sort of like fighting against
Well,
the
now
oppressor
we're
movies.
in, like, a
in between,
post-apocalypse.
exactly,
Yeah.
fighting
Yeah.
in between the two Avengers movies.
Yeah,
where you have
because
fighting
the
against
world is destroyed to
yeah,
such a
or like
disarray.
not Val,
Huh?
Armor Wars.
the one with
Valorant.
No, the one with Daniel Craig. He's the German guy
Valkyrie?
Valkyrie
With Tom Cruise?
No, there's another one. Defiance, I think it's called, or something like that.
Fine.
So,
Okay,
But
this
Valkyrie is
so
also a good one. Having
can I
someone who's like
clarify
close
something?
to Kang trying to kill
Because what
Kang.
you guys are pitching is basically what happens in Kang Dynasty. Kang Dynasty is he wins. He takes over. He's conquered the multiverse.
Okay,
he is
I'm
the
cool
new
with
He
that.
Who
But
Remains. But here's
I-
the thing: there's Kang Dynasty happens. Like there's got to be another Avengers movies. There's an Avengers.
I think
movie.
Kang Dynasty should be that Avengers movie.
No, because it doesn't. I'm telling you now. There's got to be.
Secret Wars happens
There's
at
got
the
to be.
end.
think
There's got to
it'd be
be
super
Avengers
cool.
Secret Wars, and then there's like 4 movies. Then
No,
there's
Secret
Kang
Wars-
Dynasty.
Secret Wars
and
is
then there's
after-
4 movies,
Well, just-
and then
let it
there's
finish.
Secret Wars.
Hear me out.
Secret Wars is the ending
Time out.
of
You
it
said
all.
Secret Wars twice.
Sorry. Secret
Linda,
Invasion.
Linda, listen.
Secret
to
Wars
me.
is the ending. So the way Secret Wars is going to happen is in
Tazi
the
really
new
wants to talk, but
universe
we're not
of
gonna let
Kang,
him.
what's going to happen is in the original Secret Wars, it's Doctor Doom that brings everyone to Battle World.
Yes.
In this version, it's going to be our evil Loki. What? Evil Loki is going to bring them all to Battle
2012
World
Loki.
because he realizes there's only not him. He likes the chaos of it. 2012 Loki's just having a ball, and Sylvie basically talks him into we have a way to bring everyone to Battle World, so it's not just the earthly Avengers trying to defeat Kang. It's not just one universe of Avengers. It is the
righteous
multiverse.
Avengers.
It is the multiverse of Avengers that are going to come together.
earthly.
So you're gonna.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where you're gonna get like the Fantastic
Get it?
Four will be from
Instead of
another
the Avengers
universe.
of the Flash,
They get to
you
come in. The X-Men are from another universe. They get to come in.
I just think it'd be cool to set up. a Kang that, and this is changing
Vision's
a lot,
not part of
but I think it'd be cool to set up a Kang that defeats the Avengers, and then another Kang the Conqueror, that comes in and kills that Kang.
I agree with you.
Because
Josiah and I both agree with you.
Because that places a heck of a lot worse threats for the Avengers that now have to fight this other Kang.
And then you have a phase where it's them living under Kang, and they have a couple movies under Kang.
TV
shows,
TV
shows and stuff where it's like the revolutionary kind of
well,
thing.
so let's let Justin finish the pitch, because in reality,
they'll have a boy in striped pajamas type
Though
one.
we keep on disagreeing with Justin, we probably should let him actually get through the whole storyline before we make any major changes, which we already did when we imposed M'Baku onto Black Panther.
M'Baku is Black Panther.
I don't like M'Baku, but I don't like recasting T'Challa.
Okay, well,
why wouldn't you like M'Baku?
Hey,
we're not talking about that. No, I like M'Baku.
All right, next movie. All right, so the Skrull. We're still in Skrull timeline.
Oh, we are.
The Avengers Secret Invasion happens. They defeat the Skrull. They defeat the
Kang
Skrull.
rolls up.
No, that's basically the ending. It's you get the impending doom of Kang rolling up. Then we're going to be going back into like the multiverse. You'll get Deadpool 3. It's its own romp. You're introducing Deadpool. It's fun. Fantastic Four. You're gonna tie more into the actual world, because Reed Richards is a genius. He understands what's going on in the multiverse. Yeah, except this time he actually is the smartest man in the world.
Black Bolt can kill you with one whisper from his mouth.
It's basically going to be a battle between Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, trying to find a way to utilize this multiversal expansion for their
2026 or something.
For their own thing. But you keep it still pretty contained in terms of they're not trying to end the world or blow up the multiverse. You're just establishing the fact that the Fantastic Four are going to gain some sort of knowledge in this movie that is going to help them in Secret
This is
Wars.
where Newt Scamander comes in.
Who?
The main character of Fantastic Beasts. He joins the Fantastic Four.
Oh wait, because Puss in Boots and Newt Scamander, I already teased them together.
There was a teaser. There was a
post-credit scene where Perrito fused the back of
and Newt is trying to like
Puss in Boots, and Puss goes, he's right. No, I can't do it like that. He's right behind me, isn't he? And then Newt walks through one of the Tempad portals, and he's like, Warner Brothers is now owned by Disney.
No, I thought Discovery bought everything.
Discovery owns you, and then it's the end.
Spider-Man Home Run is going to wrap up our
actual movie, or did you just make up?
I just stole it from somewhere online.
That's a dumb name.
Spider-Man Home Run. Spider-Man Home Run is going to wrap up our street level movies.
Does he play like baseball in this movie?
Spider-Man Home Run is going to wrap up our street level movies with Spider-Man and Miles Morales defeating Kingpin. Thank you.
So
it's very street level. It's very character driven. It's Spider-Man.
They wax his head and
like
throw
turning
him down
from
a
just
bowling
being
alley,
a hero to becoming more than a hero.
Miles
it's showing
goes, that's a strike.
You want to go
strike three.
And then,
You're out.
But then like phase 10.
Oh my god.
Kingpin's head is stuck into a machine, and he becomes the new MODOK.
Okay.
He said there was a new MODOK.
So
what was the second one?
Throughout everything that's been going on so far in all these smaller movies, we've seen the Kang. We've seen the Kang through the course of post-credit scenes. We're basically getting a mini Kang movie where you see Kang conquering the multiverse and defeating the other Kangs. And now we are coming to the final moment.
I'm Kang the Conqueror.
We're now
my Kang dynasty.
We are now coming to the final moment of Avengers Kang Dynasty. Where the people of Earth, and this is Doctor Strange as well. Doctor Strange has been trying to protect Earth from Kang this whole time. That'll be set up in Multiverse. Avengers Kang Dynasty. The humans on Earth can't deal with the humans on Earth that like have earthly superpowers can't deal with them. So the big thing is they have to try and use
spiritual.
What's it called? No, evil Doctor Strange and Wanda to try and defeat Kang. Doesn't work. Kang defeats them. It's a moment. It's the Infinity War moment. All right, that he conquers it. He owns the multiverse now. Mm-hmm. He is in charge. He's a brutal dictator. The man is a narcissist. He likes to be in charge. He is the new He that remains, but he's a He that remains that wants worlds to conquer. So he likes the multiverse spreading out because it just means that he gets to keep conquering forever. He's Alexander the Great if he was an immortal god. Mm-hmm. All right. So now we finish that movie. Everything is sad. You get armor wars. You're dealing with the fallout of the the fallout of Avengers. Kang Dynasty living under Kang and fighting events against.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Iron Fist. That's a more street level version of it.
Is that with Iron Fist?
It'll be with Iron Fist. It'll be Shang-Chi and Iron Fist.
Same Iron Fist
fighting
actor?
against. I don't know. You could recast him.
Okay.
But they'll be fighting against him on a more street
maybe
level.
better writing.
Yeah, they'll be fighting against him more on a street level version. Then you've got, and also with all of these movies, your post-credit scenes are basically leading up to reestablishing Loki and Sylvie, that they still exist within the universe. And then you've got the X-Men. That could be a TV series or a movie, but you're adding in another layer of the multiverse. You could do a Nova TV series to see Kang's extraplanetary stuff. I just think Kang needs to kill Captain Marvel. Yeah. Captain Marvel needs to die. Because she is the most powerful character.
Overpowered.
You've got to see her die here. Yeah. You've got to see that the Earth's mightiest heroes, the universe's mightiest heroes, aren't strong enough to beat Kang.
Yeah.
And then we get to the final Avengers movie that ends the whole multiverse saga, which is Avengers Secret Wars, which is Sylvie basically she convinces evil Loki that together they are going to bring everyone to Battleworld. They're going to bring as many heroes as they can to fight against Kang. And you do Battleworld. I don't know what the plot is. I just know that that's what we've set up so far. That Sylvie's trying to find a way to fix the multiverse because she doesn't think they made the right decision. Evil Loki is evil Loki. He's gone crazy. He loves the chaos of this moment. And he wants to be he that remains. He wants to be in charge of everything. He wants power. He loves it all. He's chaotic evil Loki.
Yeah.
And then, basically you use the Fantastic Four MacGuffin that we learned in Fantastic Four. They use that to defeat him. And
what MacGuffin?
I said that there would be a MacGuffin thrown into the Fantastic Four movie.
What's a MacGuffin?
It's a device, like the Infinity Stones are MacGuffins. They are things the characters want. So in this case, Fantastic Four is about the MacGuffin that will be used to defeat Kang. It's Doctor Doom and Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four fighting over the evil MacGuffin. Yeah. Obviously, phases 5 and 6 are less thought out than everything else, but
I like it a lot. I think that would significantly improve the
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Marvel Cinematic Universe as it exists post Endgame, because Phase 4, let's be honest, was a disjointed, incoherent mess. Where even as standalone projects, most of the shows and movies were pretty bad.
It was weak sauce.
Exactly, it was weak sauce. There were a few movies and shows that weren't weak sauce. Now,
I think so.
Well,
cool. This side of the couch.
As Tazi said to Brent, sometimes you can be wrong. But
I'm Tazi. So
My
MacGuffin is I'm Tazi Starfire.
That's not what that means.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it means you're wrong.
All right. Let's keep going.
So, I think that Phase 4 at least is not a good showing for how Phase 5 and 6 will play out.
Quantumanium is a terrible start to
Phase 5. I'm excited for Loki Season 2. That looks incredible. I think Guardians 3 won't play much into the overall.
Have they teased anything?
They did with the end credit scene of Quantumania.
Oh, yeah.
They have not put any, or it seems Guardians 3.
I don't think I saw enough to know if it's going to be.
I don't know if it's good.
But I like the first season. First season, and Jonathan Majors is incredible, so any show or movie with him
Jonathan
in it
Majors,
will be good.
Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston together.
I don't think
great.
I don't think the Guardians 3 will really influence the future of these next. It won't influence the multiverse saga. And I just wasn't really impressed with anything else. Like Shang-Chi was okay, and that's probably the best you could get.
Mm-hmm. Brent,
I don't care anymore. I'm at a point. I disagree strongly with half of it, and I think the other half is fine.
There we go. I got half.
With the original stuff, with the other stuff, I think most of it is okay. I think it definitely could be better because I think it didn't have a through line. It didn't have any connective story. There was nothing connecting except for Loki and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Everything else had vague ideas that were kind of similar.
Yeah, like Doctor Strange was seemed like it should have connected and it just didn't.
Yeah, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man had things that were connected with multiverse stuff, but didn't really do anything. Yeah. So.
I think that this is a way better version of the phases than we're getting from Marvel, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can blow up this entire.
All right, thanks guys for watching the Film Feast
Kevin
podcast.
No. We can.
All right, thank you guys for watching the Film Feast podcast.
We can.
All right, guys, thank you for watching the Film Feast podcast.
What are we blowing up? I don't care. We can blow up all the timelines and restart.
Thank you for watching the Film Feast podcast.
We can just reverse time and go back to before all of this garbage that we had to experience, and then just restart the phase.
I just realized that's got to be the ending of Secret Wars.
Is everything restarts?
Sylvie becomes She Who Remains. That's her arc,
and she restarts the TVA.
No, she turns from selfishness of how could you have done this to me to coming to understand the reason that you need to maintain the timeline, and she becomes selfless in that moment. She must do this.
Okay, I have problems with that, but we don't have time.
Why? Because she's a woman?
No.
Kang destroying everyone.
No, so they beat Kang, but I think that Sylvie becoming She Who Remains, like proving her to be selfless, doesn't make much sense because it's a whole moral conflict that is not meant to be resolved as to whether or not He Who Remains is right in what he does.
So you don't say whether, you keep it gray, but for her character, she thinks it is the right decision. She goes from thinking that it was wrong
that way.
Yeah, that's
don't paint her as a good person. Paint her as someone who thinks she is a good person.
Yes,
but don't say whether or not she is.
Yeah, and that conflict.
And then it's the cycle again
between Loki and her.
Well, that's Loki by the end of the series. Evil Loki's got to die.
Well, I know he dies, but before then, there's that. I don't love you. This is what I want to do, or whatever.
And Loki's doing it for love. He likes the chaos, but he's doing it because he loves Sylvie, and she asked him to do the secret war.
Yeah,
to
but
bring them to battle.
Now Loki has to decide between the chaos and because Sylvie's about to take the chaos away, and maybe she kills him or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But I think if we destroy.
The timelines?
I think if we destroy the timelines, go back to phase 4 and do this, I think it'd be better.
I think
Kevin Feige, what do you think? Let us know.
Wait, what do you think of this idea instead?
Leave a comment, Kev.
Keep the slate exactly the same, but you have a Kang variant as the villain in every movie going forward.
Yes, good idea.
Do some reshoots. I know you guys have enough money.
That's a terrible idea. Yep. I think we should just stop supporting Disney in general.
I don't agree. Anyway, thanks for Film Feast.
Gosh, there's 3 of them now.